Group Chat Podcast.
Group Chat Pod, Season 2, Episode 8. This week on the Group Chat Podcast, South Lafourche head coach B.J. Young joins us to preview Tarpon football. Then, Parish President Mitch Orgeron stops by with the latest on the bridge crisis. Plus, LSU, college football, not Mott's Mailbag, and plenty more. Keep your notifications on. You have now been added to the group chat.
What's up, everybody? It is the Group Chat Podcast here on this Wednesday night, August the 26th. I'm Casey Gisclair. He is Nicholas Hebert. He is Mr. Damian St. Pierre. At some point, we expect to have an appearance from Tommy, and we at some point expect to also get to the phone lines and talk to Mr. B.J. Young of South Lafourche football. We've got a lot of things to talk about. We will talk about high school football. We will talk about college football. We will talk about professional football. We'll talk about how all three of them are now kind of the same, really, if you look at it in that way. But we will break down the Jamboree. We will talk about some Biddy Basketball. You guys are doing your registrations and signups and everything of the sort. We do have some different segments, some different things we'll be doing, some different games we'll be playing, and we do have a mailbag when it's all said and done. That is our not Mott's mailbag, but we have to lead off. Bridge-Mageddon, I think it's being called here. We already know the Cote Blanche Bridge is closed. Got some breaking news for you about that in just a second. But now the little bridge on 308 next to the Butt, like that on that area.
Clovely.
This is the first I hear of this. I've been working all day.
It's bad.
Give me the lowdown. What's going on?
The little bridge on 308 gets a DOTD inspection because DOTD are the biggest heels in the company.
They finally fixed the blinking yellow light at the bridge right here, and that bridge goes up.
DOTD comes. We get a dusty finish. We get the yellows that are fixed, but they tear down the Cloverly Bridge. So now we have a situation where if you live in that area and you want to go to LaRose, you got to go to the McDonald's Bridge now to wrap all the way around to go to LaRose. This is a mess. Nicholas, you had some boots on the ground with family earlier today. Traffic was duty. And, oh my goodness, a lot of people are angry and up in arms. I'll kind of give some news and some updates and some details in just a second. But, Sir Nicholas, it felt like a 10, 15-minute drive took a lot longer earlier based on what you were telling us.
South Lafourche football practice lets out right around 5-ish, I believe. Somewhere around that time. Clara goes pick up Victor. And it literally took her an hour and a half to get to South Lafourche.
An hour and a half. Wow.
You can't just use the South Lafourche Bridge?
Everybody is using the South Lafourche Bridge. And they're even letting boats past it. So traffic was backed up all the way to Pizza Hut on this side. And I think she said all the way to Schwest's house or whatever on the other side.
I'm telling you, dude, I am going to, on Friday, go all the way to the Golden Meadow Bridge and wrap back around.
Get a helicopter.
I mean, at this point, it's quicker to go to Gaines.
What would
you just come back?
If South Lafourche would move that game to Houma, to Tarpon, we would get there faster.
No, I drive there every day. Half of that road's gone.
Yeah.
If you take the Grand Bois Road, it would be faster.
I take
you take Highway 90.
The non-Texas Roadhouse way to Houma.
We got to talk about that because I love Texas Roadhouse, and I'm worried about what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know anything I don't have any inside information other than I know that there's a troll question little later on. A lot of people are angry. Y'all could yell and scream at the parish and the council. It's not their decision. DOTD came in and said, hey, the bridge is unsafe. We're closing it. There's nothing anyone could do.
But there is something that could have been done. There's preventative maintenance that stops this type of stuff from happening. This just doesn't happen overnight. That's the problem.
I got you. But again, that's still not the parish's job. It's a state bridge.
Or we could just all agree that we will not sue the city or the town or the parish or anybody and just use that bridge until the Cote Blanche Bridge is fixed.
Well, we got some updates and some news on that. I'm not going to reveal my source, and I'm not going to reveal some of the details because I think my source is watching. I'm not going to tell you everything that you told me. But I'm told that 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to get the Cote Blanche. The Cote Blanche Bridge has been like a wide receiver that's injury prone. I feel like that bridge has been
Michael
2 or
Thomas.
3 weeks away for the last decade.
That bridge had a hell of a run about 10 years ago, and now every season is out.
So the report from the parish council meeting, they're now in litigation about that bridge. That's not open anytime soon.
You'd be surprised.
I hope. I hope.
Yeah, there's going to be some stuff that's going to come out. It's going to suck really bad. I can't imagine the people who live just
right here in this neighborhood.
At the Butt.
Right. That area there where anything that you want to do that you would otherwise either go the other way or just use the Cote Blanche Bridge, now you can't use either. It
used to take me from here to where I work 42 minutes door to door. I'm up to 55. Because, speaking of 55, once you get into the area where the roads aren't split anymore and you have to take the little bridge in Lockport to go through the town of Lockport, nobody does 55. Nobody, not even on either side before that. You're looking at a 20-mile-an-hour drive from Lockport to the Texas Roadhouse version of Houma.
Why is that? Why is it that in that stretch, everyone goes 20 miles an hour below the speed limit?
Every day, I think there's no way that these people have anywhere to go.
Because you're right. That one area in particular, it's like maybe once the speed limit was 20 because everyone drives way below the limit in that one particular area.
It's the whole way. Even where it's 55, people don't go over 50. And then, I mean, Tommy loves it, but there's accidents because people are trying to get someplace.
Tomorrow we have the airport bridge that will be opening. Yay.
That does nothing for anybody.
Awesome.
Helps out Tommy Bado, and that's
because of that traffic light over there or lack thereof. How about that? Okay. While we're talking about DOTD and we're blaming them for things, how about you got your parish president and your parish council people who study an area and say, yo, I think that that's a dangerous area. I think you should probably put a traffic light. Or maybe this is how it went. Mitch might have said, hey, are you ready to put the traffic light? And DOT, no. Let's wait for a couple fatalities. Dude, that's going to be a mess. We have a bridge. We have no light. It's just a big old four-way stop in an area where it used to just be nothing. You just keep passing through. Tommy's going to love that area.
I truly feel like this is what Y2K was supposed to be. It's finally happening.
I mean, let's just do it. Let's just get rid of all the bridges and see what side of the Bayou wins.
I mean, it's going to be the west side.
Other than me needing to go to like school for work purposes, I don't know that I need the other side a whole lot.
I'm an old school chicken sandwich from Burger King guy. That's all. That's pretty much the only thing that I go on that side of the Bayou for.
South Lafourche, Jiu-Jitsu, and Burger King.
Where do we draw the line? Okay, like if I want to go to Raising Cane's in Thibodaux, I'm technically crossing the bayou. Is that too late to say that you're crossing the bayou and you're on the other side of the bayou? Where do we draw the line?
I mean, Thibodaux is not really Lafourche Parish anyway.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So where do we draw that line? Keg, I think, was just chiming in saying who he thinks would win LA1 versus 308.
Oh, you could see the chat today?
Yeah.
We have a new monitor. Casey said it looked like Jerry.
Show.
Oh, dude, no.
I bought these TVs so cheap, I thought there was going to be a restaurant menu on them.
If we hung this thing from Jerry would be saying that there's a concern about the punch hitting him. We are now officially in Fonchak world having this 90-inch TV. It's beautiful.
Hey, shout out Coach Derek Brunet, Golden Medal. We're going to have him on coming up. Hooked us up with another helmet. It may look the same, but it's a different helmet.
Hey, Keegan, we need a new South Lafourche helmet too.
Why? What's wrong with the one we have?
It's old.
It's old?
Yeah, but it's got war wounds on it. I like the old helmet.
The only person crying is old Nicholas.
Where's the old late 90s Titans looking helmets?
No, those were not good helmets.
I like them.
You like the Titan helmets? See,
absolutely.
Well, you know what? Now that you mention it, we do need a new helmet. You know why? Because I'm just looking at it. We do have a white helmet now. Yeah, so that would be my only complaint. We got to get the one that's like the current model, where it's the white with the blue stick.
Have room for an LCO helmet somewhere around.
Yeah, moving on.
Yeah, in your pool.
We're joking, folks. Relax. Relax. We're joking.
We love the kids that go to La Rose.
That's right.
We do.
That's right.
Josh Guidry, I did give love to LCO people. I love all the kids that go to LCO.
No. I think they were saying that LCO people love you. You said that them LCO people love some Damien.
I mean, I'm a likable guy.
Yeah,
relax. We didn't even set up our lights. This is amateur hour today. Absolute amateur hour.
Let's talk about those guys. We're going to have BJ on in about, 10, 15 minutes or so. Jamboree on Friday. They're taking on the Tarpon Tigers. They scrimmaged Walker on Friday. Had to endure some rain and some different stuff. They were not able to get much practice work Monday, Tuesday, and Coach Young was a little concerned about that, but I'm sure they did get a bunch of work in today. Big, strong offensive line, a lot of backs. Defense was flying around to the ball based on the things that I saw. That's the thing. That's kind of the message. I do think that this is going to be a team that can have a lot of success this year. It's going to look a little different than it did last year. They're not going to be throwing the ball 35, 40 times a game this year. But that doesn't mean you can't win running it 45, 50 times a game this year. It should be fun. It's going to be wonderful.
Everybody's old cliche is you win in the trenches. And I think they have the athlete. Well, I know they have the athletes to be able to win. I know they got the right coaches in the place to make those dudes perform. And I like what they're doing in the backfield. You got a quarterback that's not as experienced as you've had in the last 3, 4, 5 years. And you got an X-factor kind of player with Tyrese Edwards, a kid that I absolutely love. He came through Golden Medal, got to coach him for a couple years. He was a kind of kid that I'm talking basketball, obviously that's what I do. The type of kid that you needed some energy. You needed a kid that needed to be boxed, and he wasn't as athletic. It got to the point in one game, and I'm not going to name names, but there was a principal that was a little ticked off that Tyrese boxed him, won the kid, and he didn't score. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do?
Oh, shouldn't you be saying good job?
Yeah, congratulations. Awesome kid. I love that they're using him in a number of ways. And is he even punting?
Oh, yeah. He's the punter.
Kid could do literally whatever.
They're going to have a bunch of dudes who are going to touch the ball. They're going to have a big old strong offensive line. They're going to move some people, man. Look, Tarpon has a talented roster. But I'll tell you this. Tarpon's a smaller team than they were last year. They're a younger team than they were last year. It's going to be a good test, though. You got Tarpon in the Jamboree. You got HL Bourgeois week 1. Let's go, man. It's time. We've been waiting all this time. It's time to see it.
That's what I was going to ask you. How different does Tarpon look this year compared to last year? Because last year they were loaded, had a couple college kids.
And it ain't like that.
It's not the same. And then what I didn't realize and I knew the name because you and I had talked about it, but I did not realize that the HL Bourgeois coach is the same guy that was quarterback at Cincinnati.
Munchie Lego.
Literally been following that guy on Instagram for the last decade, and he's played all over the place, and he was in the car, correct, prior. Yeah. That's interesting get for the Braves.
With Tarpon, look, they don't have Bear Adams anymore, who you could just give the ball to and say, all right, Bear, just go get 350 yards rushing.
Literally.
That was a little bit of a difference maker there. They're a little younger. They got dudes, right? I ain't poo-pooing on Tarpon. They're going to be solid.
Did they lose their entire offensive line? Because I knew that was a strong point.
A lot of them, yeah. They still got some big dudes there. It's going to be a challenge, I think, on the flip side for them to stop the Tarpon run. Their defensive line's a little smaller. What I want to see, and we could ask Coach Young when he comes on, what happens when a team says, all right, South Lafourche, you ain't running the ball. I'm putting 9 in the box. Will they be able to when they have to throw, which I think the answer is yes, by the way, but when it's 3rd and 6 and they have to complete a pass, will they be able to do so? I think that'll be one of the stories of the season. I think the answer unequivocally is yes, but that I think would be the big question mark. If I am scouting South Lafourche and if I'm trying to stop the Tarpons, I'm saying, well, I'm stacking the line. You ain't beating me running. You're going to have to beat me throwing because I don't see Terrence and Jarvis and Dre back there anymore. You're going to have to make these young receivers prove they could do it. I think they can, but I think they're going to see loaded boxes early in the season.
There's no doubt about that, but this is Coach Young's 8th year here?
So
something like that?
2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Yep, 7 years.
So first off, it doesn't seem that long. Felt like he's 3rd year here, but he's got the offensive scheme. He's an offensive guy. He has been an offensive guy. And I think he's going to obviously put his quarterback in the best position to be able to succeed. So if you are stacking a box and you on a 3rd and forever, he's got the scheme on the screens, the halfback routes that just get the ball in space to some of your playmakers, and he's got the right people in the right place. That's what excites me about Tarpon football going into this year, because it's going to be different than what we've seen in the last 5 years, and I'm anxious to see how it's adapted into the new. Obviously, there's a different scheme. I'm anxious to see how that's going to look.
Same. We had Josh Mack, who was a veteran quarterback who set all the school records, and he's gone. We have a younger quarterback taking over. We had veteran wide receivers. They're all gone. We have younger wide receivers taking over now. And we still have that offensive line from last year. A year older, a year better. And we have some weapons. We have some dudes in the running game. Teams will have to stack the box to try to stop that, because it's going to get nasty. We got Lakin Filinich. He's an X factor out there. We got Tyrese, who's an X factor out there. We got Tyler. We got Kentrell. We got dudes that, I mean, you next man up. Somebody's getting tired. Somebody's hurt. Next man up. We got some dudes that's going to cause problems back there. Our defense might have been our weak point last year, no longer our weak point this year. They got some dudes on that team, on that side too. We got Lil Debbie, who was a junior last year. Now he's one of the team leaders. Tyrese is an animal on defense. We got some dudes on both sides of the ball this year. It's going to be hard to beat South Lafourche.
We'll probably go on a little bit long tonight, but we have a freaking packed agenda tonight. Shout out Tommy for having an Android and not being able to participate in the agenda. But Coach Young coming on in a few minutes, possibly.
Parish President Mitch Orgeron coming on after Coach Young.
Right.
This is the only show that you could get that.
Yeah. That's what I've been wheeling and dealing. He just texted me. He said, man, I want to get some messages out to the public. So we're going to get BJ at 7:30, and then Mitch Orgeron will be joining us after.
There is no other podcast that could have the head football coach of your local high school and the parish president back-to-back. The audience doesn't connect with that.
Two most powerful people down the bayou, the football coach and the president.
Facts.
Yeah.
Shout out Mitch. He did send me a great recommendation on no-show socks. I appreciate that, Mr. President.
If you are tuning in and you wanted to hear us talk about the bridge situation, we gave a little bit, but you'll be able to hear it from the dude. The parish president will be joining us. I mean, heck, the next hour or so, 30, 45 minutes, we're going to be talking ball with the ball coach. Then we'll be talking bridges with the bridge coach, I guess. The parish president's coming here, by the way.
Even better.
He just told me, he said, yeah, leave him out. I thought we were calling him. He said, no, he's on the way. Also, when we get out of the phone line segment, we'll be talking about LSU. I'm sure you guys are wondering, hey, what do the boys think about LSU having a half professional football team? What do the boys think about Will Wade getting dudes, the NBA and the SEC saying, hey, you can't do that, and all this nonsense that has been going on? So we will dig into all of that during the course of the show. We got some little games, and we got a very fun mailbag as well.
Just imagine if you were
every time the parish president comes on, we have food.
Teenage Nick living down the Butch Street, going to LCO, perfect attendance. Your mom never lets you miss school. How early do you have to wake up to get from the Butt down the Bayou, cross the South Lafourche Bridge, and wait? You're probably better off actually going past the South Lafourche Bridge, taking that new bridge, getting on the back road, going all the way to LCO. It's going to be a mess.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm being serious when I say for the Jamboree, I am going to the Golden Meadow Bridge. I'm not dealing with the South Lafourche Bridge. I don't want to deal with that airport light situation either. I'm literally going to go to the Golden Meadow Bridge and work my way back up. As sad as that is.
We're almost to the point. Nick, let's go half on a boat.
Father-in-law got one?
Yeah, but I need a catamaran.
Oh, yeah.
South Lafourche head football coach BJ Young joins the group chat.
Coach Young, good afternoon, or good evening, rather. How was practice today, brother?
It was good. First thing, where's truck when you need it, huh?
That's what I'm saying, brother. But here's the thing, man. Over here, when I'm dealing with my buddies, I don't have to deal with Coach Brian Colley giving me a hard time, and we have food here, too. So we'll deal with the technical issues, right?
That's a plus. That's a plus. We had a good day, man. Yeah, it was a good day. Was able to get out. We actually had a 30-minute lightning delay, but it was only one strike. So went up to the stadium, waited it out, and the weather was good to finish it. So we went a little bit longer than usual, a little bit longer than we like to go on a Wednesday. But being that we was in the gym for 2 days, I thought it was important for us to go out there and get some heavy reps, just to get reps added live and also to get a little bit more conditioning in. So we kind of pushed them a little bit harder than we normally do on a Wednesday, but it was good.
BJ, I haven't interviewed you in like 4 hours, so I don't know anything to ask you. Let me talk about this, man. With your offense, we were just talking about the amount of guys you have that we think could touch the football and could do a lot of really good things. Talk about that as a play caller. You have a lot of dudes that I'm sure you have faith, put the ball in their hands, and they go get us a first down, maybe even break one, maybe even score.
Fortunate for me, the last 7 years has kind of been just the next crop up, and it's this crew. And then you kind of think to yourself and the coach's office, well, what are they going to do to replace them guys? And then, young guys step up and dark horses come on and end up being a household name. And then they leave and you're like, well, what are we going to do to replace those guys? And then it's just the next crop. So this is just the next group of guys, a lot of young guys. We got one senior, Caleb Nelson, at receiver, and we got a running back, Control Shepard, a senior who just came back. In the grand scheme of Caleb as well, just came back. So in the grand scheme of experience-wise, they are fairly young, but seniors nonetheless. And the rest of them are all sophomores, man. I think it's a group that really loves football, so that helps. They never complain on how long we're there for, how much film we watch. They're always trying to do extra stuff and do it longer today. And we kept on after the work some certain type of deals, and not one kid complains. So I think it's a young group that loves football, that's eager to win. I think the foundation has been set for them. They kind of see how things go, and I think that helps grow the groups that came before them, and then these kids loving football and wanting to continue that, I guess, tradition, on.
Coach Young, I've been waiting to ask you this question for a long time. This show's a little bit more loose, I guess, than the radio show. We like to have some fun. When you went to Hahnville, were you guys in the South Lafourche district, or had they moved out of the district by that time?
Yeah, I never got to play in that district. When I was there, we were in the Ascension district. So the River Parish went to the Ascension. So we had Dutchtown, EA, and Sanama, who was in that district, which was competitive. Man, I remember Dutchtown when I played. Yeah, Eddie Lacy was the running back, and Eric Reed was one of the safeties. So beat them, by the way. But really, they were a really good team.
Well, I mean, they had Coach Young at quarterback. It's a given.
Yeah, they were Hornville, right? It was a fun district, man, and some good crowds. But no, I never got to play at South Lafourche. I did play at Central Lafourche once, but that had to been like a pre-district game.
So talk to me about this, and this is the question I wanted to ask. Obviously, maybe when you were growing up, you guys were maybe in the district, and I'm sure you knew of South Lafourche with being only 45 minutes away. And look, the perception around the state from a lot of people is, man, them people over there is crazy. They go to school in boats, and they're a little off over there. So your perception as a kid when you were throwing the ball around, you probably never dreamed when you were throwing the ball around in the yard, I'm going to be the head football coach at South Lafourche. But that perception versus the reality of now you having the job for 7 years, tell me about that. When you first took the job, were there some concerns like, hey, man, these people are nuts down there, versus when you actually got into the situation? And I know you love it here now. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I do, man. I've had a blast. I love it. I love the way the community wants to win. I said it before, like pressure's a privilege. So the pressure to win is here, and they want a winner. And I think that goes a long way, man. It makes it fun to coach. We got great kids, but no, look, when I was at Harmon and moved on to Southeast and then went back to EA, bigger areas, if you'd asked me like, man, you're going to end up down in the Bayou to coach, I'd have probably said, man, I don't know. But I told the kids that a few years ago, we went to 707. We go every year to Hornville. And we were kind of mixing it up a little bit more than people would like in a 707, kind of hitting them. And I was standing by some of the Hornville crew, right? They're right down the side of us. And I heard some of the kids saying stuff to the fact of like, man, them kids are crazy. Yeah. And that dude, I guess the other little kid wouldn't know. What you mean? They just play like crabs and stuff. so, yeah, they're rough, man. They know us. And look, I'm going to tell you, like where I'm from, when you get kids from the Zalmans or Parody or Bayou Gauche, it's a rougher white kid. And it's because the cloth they cut from, right? They shrimp, they trawl. They'll show up to work out in shrimp boots and got to change it to their shoes. And, that's a whole football team now, right? And I wanted them to embrace that. Why are you scared of teams? Or, well, because they got athletes. Or why are we scared? Because people are scared of you, right? People don't want to come down here and play. I remember days we used to throw rocks at the buses, and like they don't want to come down here. And when we show up, people know you're rough. People know you're going to mix it up. People know you're not going to quit. So if people believe in you, not in this community, the community does too, but people outside this community are nervous to play you. Why are you not? Why you don't walk around with a chip on your shoulder with a little swag? Like, y'all got to play us. You got to see us. So That's kind of the mindset I've tried to instill in them. And, that comes into practice with me talking smack to Coach Woods and Coach Woods talking smack to me and kids mixing it up. And I want them to compete, man, and everything. I've been blessed to have a good group of kids. But no, if you'd have told me what is 8 years ago that I'd have been down here coaching ball, I'd have probably said, man, I just don't know. But the opportunity presented itself, and I had some ties to the area. And look, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, man. I've had opportunities to go, and that's just the nature of the beast. And at the end of the day, when it came down to it, I chose to be here, So I told the kids, I'm going to give you everything I got, bro. You just got to give me everything you got, and it's going to be okay.
Coach, we appreciate you, and we appreciate your style of football. Saying that, a lot of roster turnover from last year. You got a whole summer. You're getting into your Jamboree week and then getting into the season. What is the biggest difference between last year's team and this year?
Yeah, well, look, first thing, how about Victor St. Pierre with the first snap with a hitch, eh?
Hey, we were pumped up whenever Nick told us that.
Yeah. I said, come on now. So, no, look, I think the biggest difference is I think last year's team, very senior heavy, guys who's been under the lights and stuff. So sometimes, right, practice could get a little stale and you got to try to pull it out of them. But I know just like they know, right, if Terrence might take this play off or Sawyer's not really in it today, when the lights turn on, it's going to be okay. Sometimes it's hard to pull out of it every practice where these kids are young and they fighting for roster spots and they trying to get time on Friday nights. So every practice has been, like tooth and nail competing. So I think the intensity has been high. And I just think it's because it's a young group that's trying to prove themselves. And I think, people around the area thinks there's going to be a drop off. And I've told them that people know you lost a lot of people. They think this is a down year, right? A rebuilding year. And I think they kind of carrying it as a chip on their shoulder to prove people wrong. And I think that's the only difference. Look, I'm going to tell you, our team last year was really good. And it's hard to sleep at night sometimes when you think about the kids you lost. But when you come to work every day and those kids are hungry like that, they mix it up and you gotta try to call the dogs off a little bit instead of, trying to probe them to get going. It's a good feeling. So I think that's what it is. It's not a personnel thing. I just think it's a hunger to prove people wrong.
Every coach that I talk to, when we ask them about your offense, they say the most complicated ass offense we've ever seen. And it takes us forever and ever watching film to break it down and get it figured out. So my question, without giving away too many of the secrets, how many different versions of a play do you guys have whenever you guys are at the line of scrimmage or whatever? And I guess the next layer, what makes it so difficult for a defensive coach to scout you guys?
Yeah, well, first it feels good. that they think that. For us, I'm going to tell you, and this is, me and John laugh about it because when you come from, like when I came from Southeastern, there's a lot of ideas that you did and what could work and this, that, and the other. And John's got phenomenal stuff, man. Like he's been a blessing and we've meshed well. But I take the method as the KISS method. I don't know if you heard the KISS method, right? Keep it simple, stupid, right? Keep it simple, stupid. So, when I came out, when I was first a coordinator at EA, man, we ran everything. Trap, buck sweep, inside zone, triple option. Had every pass play in the book, and we were really good at nothing. So I talked to Larry Daughtry. Look, that's a fact. That's a fact. And it's not about what I know. It's what the kids can do to play fast. I'm going to tell you. So I'm getting to how I learned. So I talked to Larry Daughtry. We didn't have much success, at the beginning. So at the end of the season, I do a lot of I try to be honest with myself, man. And so I called Larry Daughtry, who had a lot of success at East St. John, was at Tulane in the CFL. And he kind of told me, what are you doing? I'm telling him all this stuff. And he kind of says, Coach, like, that's too much. Like, well, what do you hang your hat on? And when he said that, it hit me. I'm like, man, I don't know. I really don't know what I hang my hat on. I got all kind of cool stuff, though. And it's not about what I know. It's not about me confusing other coaches. I got to confuse a 15 to 18-year-old kid on the other side of the line. And I think that's what maybe keeps the coaches up a little bit at night is they might have an idea but they trying to communicate to the kid like, man, don't worry about this. All this smoke and mirrors is just this. But at the end of the day, it's hard on a kid sometimes. Then when you fall asleep on that, that's when we hit that. So it's a lot of stuff that goes against their rules. You teach a kid the rules, but this play breaks that rule. So it's like, do your rules except when maybe you see this play, but then you think about that play and then we just go back to the bread and butter. So I think back, I was the golf coach at EA. We were playing golf and we were playing Zachary, and the OC was the golf coach there. And I was talking to him, and he's telling me they run like so many plays. I'm like, damn. So what I did was, when I got here, we condensed it down a bunch. You know, I listened to a lot of Mike. I was a big Mike Leach guy. So a lot of Mike Leach stuff. And you look over there and they throwing the ball on everybody and they know they're throwing it. Well, how are they doing it so effective? So I took a lot of air raid concepts and stuff. So it's been a work in progress. But if you were to come sit down in a week and I would say, all right, let's go, you'd be like, wait, that's it? And I'd say, yeah, you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's it. It's not a lot. Now we'll dress it up. I listen to Andy Reid talk about how they never run the same play twice in a game. So I remember one year Isaac Dante coached freshman ball and he was charting for me. And we came at half after the Jamboree at the first quarter. He's like, dude, you ever call the same play twice? And I'm like, Isaac, what's crazy? It is the same play, but it might be, I'm going to give you an example, whatever, right rip, 36 cut. Then the next time it's right rip, F move, Y peel, 36 cut. It's the same thing. It's just little window dressing that's going on. So it might look complicated to the naked eye, but it is very, very simple. I can chart on a season or a game how many mental busts we have, man. It's very simple, and we get really good at it. And my thought is, you know, we are going to rep it more than you. You got 3 days to prepare for it, right? I remember Tommy Minton saying, dude, I've never seen teams run power and counter like y'all run. Like, well, how do you teach that? And I kind of was walking him through, and he's like, well, how do you get him to do that? And I said, well, coach, that's all. That's like, that's what we do. We run it 72 times a day. And he's like, well, that makes sense. So it don't matter what you come in, and you don't have to know it's coming. I'm going to send one little deal, one little smoke or something, and you can throw your eyes off of that one little, you know, bang, bang. And then we out the door. And so we hit runs different than other teams might hit it, but that's who we are. You know, you in this coverage, the kid's going to break this way, and everybody knows how he's breaking because we work it. It's 360 days a year. You get 3 days. You get a Monday through Wednesday. So our mindset is we're just going to rep it more than you have time to prepare for it. And look, it has paid off. I feel like in the 7 years we've had really good offenses, and a lot of that's to do with kids buying into and believing in it, and they got to see it succeed. Once they see the success, they believe. You can tell them if you run this way and look left and not right, it's going to work, and they'll do it because they believe. Damn, coach said it, that's going to work.
Let me ask you this, completely unrelated to football. I am currently in the process of trying to lose some weight. I am the heaviest that I've ever been. I'm down 10 pounds now, but I'm the heaviest that I've ever been. You are completed your process of trying to lose some weight, as Damien is offering me jambalaya. Thank you, buddy. But you've completed.
That's the start.
Yeah, you've completed your process, or maybe it's still a work in progress, but you've lost a lot of weight. You look great. Give me some motivation, man. How much better do you feel now versus 24 months ago?
Look, it's crazy. And you don't know, like my thing was, you don't know how far gone you are until you get back to, I guess, your fighting weight, right? And then you realize, like, man, you know, I feel great. I sleep better. I don't snore at night, they tell me. You know, you got more energy the other day. My back don't hurt. My feet don't hurt. I can get in practice and do stuff and feel, you know, I feel like I can go play a game Friday night. So it's been great. You don't know how far gone you're. And I'll go back and look pictures at myself, and I'm like, man, how'd you let yourself get to that point? Man, I had a referee ask me when I was 260. Right now I'm 185. I was 260. He asked me, he's like, man, so like, they said you played at South. I said, yeah. He said, man, what you play? Like tackle or something? I said, oh, hell no. Oh, no. Tackle? You got me all the way messed up, man. So that's when it kind of hit me. I was like, you know what? I gotta change some things. So it's been good, and trying to put on a little muscle now, and you know, that type of deal. But I hate the weight room. I hate it.
Yeah.
So it's a grind every the 3 days I go in there. It's like pulling teeth to my own self, but I do it.
So, Coach, we're going to take an exact 180 on this question. Being that you have been down here, we discussed 7 to 8 years. What is the accurate number?
7. Dude, I want to say, and like it's crazy, they all blend together. Brian thought like 3 or 4 years. So
that's what we were talking about.
I want to say, yeah, it goes so quick. And then the first 2 years was crazy with the hurricane and the COVID stuff. So I want to say this is year 7 for me.
So you have enough time that you've been fully embedded into our community. We talk about losing weight. I'm going to go the opposite. What is the ideal down to buy a meal that Coach Young goes to?
I didn't know what a shrimp boulette was, but that right there, that's some solid stuff. Look, you can't go wrong. I'm gonna tell you what I'm not a big fan of, and people say a different way. The potato ragu or ragu patat. I'm not a big fan of that one.
Yeah, watch how you say that. That's a huge deal. That's a huge deal.
Yeah, I said it twice. I said it both. You know, but look, they cook that for pregame meal sometimes. I'm like, come on, and Sanimal loves it. You know, and but that's the one thing that I'm kind of like, man, I really don't get down with that one. But I never ate anything. I'm gonna tell you that was the problem. When I got here, I was 215, and then in the time allowed, I was 260. So we chewing. That's a fact, but it's some good food, man. I'm telling you right now, you can't go wrong. When Mike came, he's like, they got stuff to eat. Man, I don't see they got a Burger King and a McDonald's. So, what about none of that? Burger King and McDonald's. They got all kind of stuff that you got Meemaws, you got Share Me. I'm gonna tell you, I'm a Mama's Kitchen guy. That's phenomenal.
Oh yes,
so
it is.
I mean, you can close your eyes and pick anything on Y's menu, and it's legit. So, no, the food is phenomenal. And I'm gonna tell you what you realize too is, see, I'm kind of more into like the New Orleans scene, right? So like people don't kind of come down here. You go to New Orleans, so but you realize like they don't season their food right. Like when you come down here, you taste, you like, man, that's how like you could taste it. Like over there, it's just all like Tony's. So I think they season the food better here too. It kind of lets you taste it a little bit more than what you may be accustomed to. And people go to New Orleans from all over the country and think it's phenomenal. If they just took the extra little hour-long trip south, it'd get their mind blown for sure.
Agreed. I got one more case.
Go ahead.
So it's widely known that coaches get accused of being a little off, maybe a psychopath. I consider myself a psychopath. Yeah. When you get into that grind, week 5, week 6, every week, what is one thing that you are super into that you look forward to, your favorite thing in a week during that big grind of the season?
Yeah, look, I'm gonna tell you too. I like when you wake up like after a game on a Saturday and you kind of tired and you got to push through it. You like slam some coffee in it. You go straight to the monster and you kind of grinding through it and trying to get a good plan together. I love the game planning part of it, man. I love the fact of how you like a plan. And you say it, man. This sounds, but it's like you go into a battle, right? You go into war. And it's not even close to that. Like these people are risking their lives for that, but. It's like, man, I love the fact of like we're going in with an attack plan and there's a contingency plan in place and you got things you feel really good about and some things you're going to throw at them early to see. And I just like the schematics behind it and the weekend grind of, trying to get the best plan in place, but keep it simple at the same time or show them something that we maybe saw that we could do as something different and then wait to see how they adjust. It's just, I love that Saturday and Sunday grind of a little bit tired and you're kind of in the mix, but usually when you're winning, it's a little bit better, right? When you're 0-4, it might not be as fun, but when you kind of got it moving, that little bit tired, but that push through to try to get that like I said, that attack plan in place, man. It's it's addicting. It really is. And Friday nights are fun. It's the closest thing you can get to playing, and I can't wait for Friday. This week has been dragging by so bad, it's ridiculous. But I try to slow myself down to enjoy the little things, like you said, man, like the process with it, like a Tuesday practice or like today, or, you're a little tired on Saturday, but you got to push through. You got to enjoy those things because, and I tell the seniors, man, you blink and it's over with. And it sucks because you wait all year and you guaranteed 10 and you blink and you're like in week 8 and you're like, man, where did it go? But I love it, man. I love like that grind of that feeling tired and pushing through it to get a plan in place.
Last question I have for you, and we talked to you about, coaches being a little out there. Your defensive coordinator is a little out there. Coach Woods is an interesting fella. I've been knowing him for a long time, but he also is a very good football coach, and the kids love that dude and would run through a concrete wall for him. First and foremost, talk about the impact Mike has had, and then second, give me a good Mike Woods story because I know there always is one.
Yeah, look, I'm going to tell you, Mike is my guy now. I told him the other day, he better not ever take a head coaching job because I'll take him with me wherever we go, man. He does, number one, like, I thought I loved football, and I do. This dude kind of is like, hold my beverage, right? Like, he lives, breathes, sleeps. He loves football. I believe in him more than I've ever believed in anybody about putting kids in position. And we go every Friday night, and I never feel like we're going to be out schemed on that side of the ball, man. Never. He works tirelessly, and he's got really good stuff, and he gives you issues, and he's competitive. And then most important, man, he loves kids. He sees the good in every kid, man.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he sees the good in every kid. And me, I'm more sometimes along the line of like, man, he got to show me. And Mike's over there like, man, I'm telling you, man, he's physical, bro. He's going to tackle. He's going to tackle, man. And I'm like, Mike, he's not. Like I have to see him feel the alley. No, man, he's been really good in the weight room, man. He's going to do it. And I'm like, okay. So, but man, and look, I'm going to tell you, look, Mr. Charlie Como was sitting in the office yesterday before we went to film. And he said, Coach, I'm going to just tell you, what I see most importantly, more than anything else, is we're stronger. We're stronger.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you think so? He's like, man, coach, like, we pushed around at 5'18", right? We pushed him around. He's like, coach, I'm telling you, like, you can tell when you turn the tape on, we're strong. And that's all Mike. I can't take any credit for that. But he lives the weight room. When it's the off season, it's weight room. And Jai walked in there the other day, got off a little early and came in, and he was like, dude, Mike crushes him. I'm like, yeah, dude. You know, like, no slack. We must have did 200 abs yesterday. You know, we in the season. But they love it, man. Like, same thing. He could tell a kid to run through the wall, and they ask, like, how many times you need it. You know, once is enough, or you need me to do it multiple.
Yeah.
So he loves kids. He sees the good in kids. He loves football. He loves the weight room, and he's awesome schematic, man. And look, I like it because we give each other the gas. You know,
Yes.
my thing is too, I don't want a bunch of yes men, right? So when I say stuff in office, I don't want everybody to say, oh man, I better agree with BJ so he don't get upset with me and lets me coaching. You need to call it how you see it, right? I tell him every year, if there's a hole in the boat and you don't tell me, we all sink. He shoots it straight. You know, I was going to run him today after practice. He's like, you know, man, I don't know, you know, if they did this much in the weight, bro. So I'm like, you know what? Then we're not running him. But he's a straight shooter. He calls it how he sees it, and it's helped us grow as a program. And he's gotten us to another level, which has been awesome to me. But the story is, and he would laugh when I tell you this. So I buy a lot of nice stuff, Casey. I do, right? I spend a lot of money on nice Nike stuff that you turn on the LSU game. Guess what? Lane Kiffin is wearing the same stuff that Cole Young wearing. Okay, so a lot of nice stuff, and I've never seen a grown man mess up clothes so quickly in my life. So he had a baby. I gave him this nice baby blue thing. You can make a short sleeve muscle shirt. We're at practice, and there's so many stains on the front, and he ripped a hole in the back of it. And I'm like, Mike, like, what are we doing, man? What, bro? I'm too big for the shirt. I'm too big because you're not a 3X. You know? So it's been good, man. Good banter back and forth, and but man, he's my guy, bro. And I love him. I love having him around. I know the kids do too. You know, sometimes I gotta check it. Like, you know, I'm the head coach now. You know, back up. Don't call the whole team up. That's me. You know, back your big self up. So, but they love him, man, and he's been awesome. I'm gonna tell you this too. He had offers to move on this offseason from multiple schools.
Yeah.
Some private schools that were offering like legit money, where I was kind of like, man, Mike, like, you might want to like consider that dude, you know?
Yeah.
And he was like, absolutely not. Like, absolutely not. Dude, he loves being down the bayou. He bleeds blue. He loves South Lafourche, and you got to have guys like that in your corner that'll die for you, bro. And he's one of those cats.
Going to the games, see Mike Woods on the sideline, that dude gets me pumped. I'm sitting in the crowd. I want to go play. I want to go rush the quarterback. Yeah. Every morning of the summer, waking up to get Victor to practice at like 7 o'clock, I was like, man, this is going to be rough all summer. I want to sleep late. This dude, Mike Woods, where does he live?
Mike Woods lives in Napoleonville. Mike drives an hour and a half one way.
An hour and a half
one way.
It's 2 hours now.
Every morning, and he's there before most of the kids show up. You want to talk about a guy who loves football? Mike Woods loves football. I have a whole new respect for that dude.
Yep. Loves kids, loves football. Look, an hour and a half one way, that's 3 hours.
What time does he leave his house in the morning?
Man, look, and he does, like, I'm going to tell you, he works the e-ball stuff in the morning. So I want to say I think he leaves his house at 4:30. And look, I'm going to just tell you, and it's not to come make $100,000, right? It just says a lot about his character and his love for the school and the kids and football in general, man. I say he's been a blessing, and that wears on you. So I hope he can, keep it up, and I know he will.
Yeah, I thought I was the most pumped up guy in the crowd Friday night when Victor caught that ball, but I think Mike Woods topped me.
Mike Woods is out there signaling, and that's what I told him. If I got to tell him back off the field one more time, I'm going to lose it. I can't
notice that.
I cannot fight him because I'm not into getting my jaw run off on, right? So I'm not into getting beat up in front of 6,000 people. But I said, Mike, if you're going to make me lose it, it's a scrimmage. Back up. Oh, bro. So I said, Mike, you're signaling first down. You're on the field. You're 7 foot 390. Like, people see you, bro. Like, and I get it. You love it, you know? Like, last week we had the little thing with one of the teams. I'm not going to mention it.
Starts with a V.
And he was, like, ready to dive. Like, I looked on film. He was behind me, like, ready to, like, dive in it. I'm like, Mike, bro, really? You know, like, you were going to go out on the field. And, like, you got to just chill out a little bit.
Hey,
but
Coach, Friday night, one of the first plays on defense, I think it was Gunner. grabbed the quarterback and was holding him, not trying to tackle him or whatever, waiting for the referee to blow the whistle, and the referee never blew the whistle. Like, what was the deal with that?
Yeah, look, I'm going to tell you, I thought it was kind of finicky because at the end of the day, it's not really a penalty so the quarterback was dead in the pocket.
Right.
But if he ran, he was live, which is tough in general, right? But so we got him in the pocket and he's holding him and the referee's not blowing the whistle. So Gunner tackles him. No, it was rough, which is, I'm okay. I like roughness, right? I'm okay with it. So he was a little rough with him, but instead of to me, of hey, look, guys, remember, he's dead in the pocket. He flagged it for a 15-yard unsportsmanlike. Well, then blow the whistle.
Yeah.
Right? So he's just supposed to let him go and he runs for first down. And then now it's just so I thought it was kind of whatever. And that's what extended their drive.
Yeah.
Because that would have been, we were getting off the field. So I saw somebody saying, well, we would have scored a touchdown if we didn't get an illegal procedure, but you wouldn't have because we were getting off the field anyway with that play, right? So I was proud of the defense, man. I thought they played really good. And look, before we went out, he had them fired up in the gym, fired up. And you love to take credit for everything, but man, he's got a lot to do with how we play and everything of that nature. So I'm glad he's on our sideline. I remember on the Thibodeau sideline, I was upset with him. He's always fired up, yelling across the field, sweating up a storm, upset. So I'm glad he's on our sideline, man. He does a good job for us.
Coach,
a great job for us.
Who else we got on your coaching staff this year?
Yeah, so we got Chandler Guidros and Chandler Lasang. We call Chandler Guidros OG Chandler, and we call the other one 2.0. So we got Chandler Lasang and Chandler Guidros. We got Jai Orgeron, who's been phenomenal, man. And he's young. He relates to the kids. Invested in the office. So fortunate, man. You lose Rafe, who's a D1 lineman, great coach, and you're like, man, what you gonna do? Because look, I'm gonna tell you, newsflash, it's hard to get coaches down there, right? So, and O-line coaches are already hard to come by. You don't have one of those, you lose. I'm thinking like, man, what are we gonna do? And then Jai kind of falls in your lap, and it's kind of like, man, well, let's see how he does, right? He's never coached a down of football, right? And he's been unreal. If you come to practice, you think he's been coaching for 30 years, unbelievable. So that's why we're moving people. Look, we were taking, I'm telling you, I don't know, Casey probably saw, we're taking down the D lineman, the down lineman, and we're moving, displacing gaps.
Yep.
They ain't in a B gap. He's on the other A gap, right? And that's what I do with Jai, with the double teams and when to come off and the little techniques you got to learn. You learn at that level, right? Because you might have to go play at TCU. Well, guess what? You're not stronger than that cat that's going in the third round of the draft. So you better learn some technique and all them little intricacies that he's teaching the kids, man. It's he's been great. So Jai, obviously Mike, Coach Santa Mo's the vet, right? So lean on him a bunch. You got the car, go for one, go for two. Special teams coordinator, does the receivers for us. Same thing though, man. I lean on him a bunch of, you think we leaving early enough with this? So what time should we eat? Or is this good to eat, you think, before the deal? Or just all the little things that you don't think about that you got to lean on. You got to have a coach like that on your staff that's been in the trenches that you can lean on and just kind of. And he's been with me for the whole 7 years, and that was a guy that wasn't coaching, right? When I got there, they were kind of like, man, look, he coaches. He don't really do football no more because it didn't really, with him and the previous regime, and I was able to get him back on board, and he's been for 7 years, man, awesome. And then Daniel Dickinson, who does the D-line for us, who's been with me, I want to say now, maybe 3 or 4 years. Yeah, he's been there for a little minute, man, and Daniel's been awesome. Big technique guy. Daniel does a good job of getting on him and then picking him up. He's stern with him, and then he does a good job at picking them up after. And like I said, the technique, and that's his little babies. You look at practice, there's everybody kind of moving around, and there's Coach Daniel and his D line. It's dude, if y'all lose this scent, you're gonna freak out. So, he's been great. He's been great too, man. I hope I'm not leaving.
Forgot about Coach Ryan.
Coach Ryan's in the building. Coach Ryan is in the building. Yeah.
Yep.
He does the athletic training. And look, I'm going to tell you what we kind of did with that too. So you go to different places. When I got here, it was just Coach Ryan. And I was like, I come from here, we had 15 student trainers. So I was like, Ryan, what you think about maybe corralling some student trainers and making that kind of work? And he was like, man, you know what? Well, yeah, that wouldn't be bad or whatever. So every year, man, we got 3 or 4. This year we got Zachariah Burden, who came back to help, and it's been phenomenal. So Ryan does a good job, man. He works with us a bunch. Kids love him, tends to the kids. We didn't meet Saturday. He showed up by himself Saturday morning to do treatment on any kid that came, and he didn't have to do that. And he came to me when he's like, Coach, you want me to show up tomorrow morning at 9, and I'll stay here from 9 to 10, and any kid that needs to come see me, come see me? I'm like, Ryan, I love where your head's at. Ryan's all in, man. And that was another one, like when I came, was kind of like on the fritz of, because the previous kind of deal, it just wasn't really willing to work with you and stuff. But I think in this profession, I think in life in general, man, when you treat people right and they realize that they do matter, and their role does matter, and they have a voice, right? When you talk, I do listen. That don't mean I go with it, right? I don't have to go with it. At the end of the day, I'm gonna do what I want to do. But I think when people understand that they have a voice and their voice is heard, and they can respect that, he listened to me and he didn't do it, I can respect that. I think stuff like that goes a long way, and I think we have a great culture, man. And obviously in the locker room with the kids, but in the coach's office, it matters, because if you're not pulling in the same direction, kids feel that. Believe it or not, they feel it, they can see it, they sense it, and that's not a good deal. And I think since I've been here, we've had a great camaraderie in the office and understanding expectations and how I like things done. And I think this too. I think when you get in a big chair, that just doesn't mean you sit on your hands and don't do anything. Like, I still do laundry. I help them hang clothes, right? I set up the field on Fridays for pregame, before the game. So I think when they see you doing those type of things and you're not just sitting on your hands and just dictating everything, it's kind of like, man, you know what? Like, he's willing to pull his weight too. I think that goes a long way too. So we have a good culture, man. I think the kids feel it. And like I said, I've been places where it's not like that. And it makes it a lot easier to work and fight for a common goal when it is.
You talk about washing clothes. I know y'all got a lot of OxyClean now.
Yeah. a lot of OxyClean. Listen, we use it.
During that scrimmage, Lucas, quarterback, got hurt, and Ryan sprinted across the field and carried Lucas off himself. So shout out to Ryan. He's out there going above and beyond.
Yeah, man. Like I said, he's all in. Running for him isn't the best. Okay? He is not. If you're trying to teach your kid how to run, I probably wouldn't watch Coach Ryan. But that's okay. You can't be great at everything. You can't be. Look, I'm gonna tell you what he does too. Look, he flies the drone in practice.
Yep.
In videos, he runs the scoreboard to keep us on the segment timer to make sure we're on time. He does everything. So we play music at practice. He's running the drone. He's got the clock, and his phone's plugged into the sound system. You know what I mean? So he does it all, man. He sets up the cold bats we have ice bats on Thursday. He sets up the ice bats. He sets up the tents. He's got the fans. He's got a lot on his plate, and he never once complains or asks for more help or, Coach, can you take this off? Never complains. It's always like, Coach, we flying the drone today, or Coach, you want music or this? He's all in, man. And same thing though. I've seen it to where the athletic trainer and the head football coach do not see eye to eye, and I think it makes it easier when you do. And me and Ryan, like I said, we buddies, man. We talk about stuff outside of football and outside that office, all the time. So I think that helps as well.
BJ, we've taken enough of your time, brother. Thank you so much. You gave us some great information, and I think you got the Tarpon football community really jacked up for the season. We'll do this again soon, okay, buddy?
Yeah, man, I appreciate y'all.
Yep, that's Coach BJ Young. We thank him so much for his time. Boy, how could you not like that dude? Like, I know everybody's going to be critical. Oh, he should have did this or he should have did that, and everybody's going to be an armchair quarterback. But just as a dude, how would you not want that dude coaching your kid?
First off, we thank him for his time, and I thought that was a really good segment.
It was.
He got into a lot of different things, and I'm just thinking, I try to relate. Obviously, he's a very successful coach. I want to take things from those type of people, right? Those people that are successful and do the right things for the right reasons. And he triggered something in my head, talking about hanging jerseys and doing all this stuff. I don't let anybody else set up water, set up tables, set up towels. That is like my pregame kind of ritual whenever we're hosting a basketball game. So that kind of triggered me. Again, we thank Coach Young. That was a really good interview. He got some props on the Ragu Patat, and I know we got a non-Ragu Patat guy that just joined us. That might be the first question for the guy we got waiting to join us.
Yeah, well, look, we move now from football. We will have Parish President Mitch Orgeron. Everybody's wondering about the bridges. You're going to hear it firsthand from the guy who is sitting at the top of our local parish government. We are going to catch a quick break. We'll be right back. Thanks so much for listening and watching the Group Chat Podcast.
Want to put your business in front of a loyal local audience? Partner with the Group Chat Podcast and put your brand right in the middle of the conversation. From live shows to social media and video, we'll help get your business noticed. Become a Group Chat Podcast sponsor today. Call or text 985-6371-513 for more information.
Welcome back. Sorry for the little hiatus, but the jambalaya was calling. And we had a wonderful segment with Coach BJ. We do have our parish president. First and foremost, look, this is a true story, y'all. We're over here starting the show. Mr. Orgeron over here gives me a ring. I shoot him a text. I say, all right, hey, I'm recording. He says, all right, I wanted to fill you in about the bridges. So I say, hey, would you like to come on the pod and discuss? And he says, yes. I'm over and I even told Damon, like, I thought we were getting you on the phone. And no, he says, no, I'm in the car. I'm on the way. I'm going in studio. So first and foremost, we appreciate that very, very much so. Because we thought we were just getting a phone call, but it is great to see you, man. How we doing?
I'm doing all right. Although sometimes I feel like Harry on Dumb and Dumber in the bathroom seat. I say that tongue in cheek, but
yeah, tonight you get the non-trimmed up, prim, proper version of us. Like we didn't even change the studio for you. Last time we changed the whole thing.
Look, I would actually don't ever change the studio. This is great. I wanted to come back, certainly not under these particular circumstances, but I want to be able to share with the public what's going on, what we're doing. Obviously, there's a couple bridges that need some attention. Some of it's DOTD related, some of it is parish related, and wanted to just be able to share with the public what's going on, what we're doing, how we intend on addressing it, and how we're working with the state to get some results.
So tell us about it. It's been a rough day today. Everybody by now knows the news. We were talking about it earlier. The bridge across the Bayou is now closed. What was the timeline of the day? And, give us a rundown of, how it all went down.
Basically, at about 2 o'clock this afternoon, I got a phone call from the DOTD supervisor for our area saying, hey, the Scully Canal Bridge, that's how they address it. I consider it the Clovelly Canal Bridge, but the Scully Canal Bridge is being taken out of service and Highway 308 is closing at that location. We have to close it immediately. It failed an inspection today. Of course, my initial reaction is, well, crap.
Yeah, no kidding.
There's a lot of traffic that passes that way. 308 is a busy road. Not to mention we've already got one out, that being the McLeod Bridge in Lockport. So now that's 2 of them on 308. And we know what the timeline for McLeod looks like, but we don't have anything on that one. So from there, I sent a message over to our DOTD secretary and to the governor and said, please give me a call. And both folks reached out and said, we're going to work with y'all. And thankfully, so thank you, Governor Landry, and thank you, Governor Leday, or Secretary Leday. And they're putting together a plan to do some emergency repairs to get the Scully Canal Bridge repaired. He's coming down tomorrow, and we are going to shoot a little video and put out more details. Obviously, those are forthcoming. I don't have all of the details at this moment other than they're going to do an emergency repair. What that's going to look like, we're going to have that. We're also going to have a video we're going to put out the McLeod Bridge outlining what those steps are going to look like. I do know that bridge repair is out for bid currently. That one is going to be a much bigger scope because they're straightening out a curve because it was a dangerous curve and replacing a bridge at a different locations, whereas the one here in Cutoff is going to be a simple repair. They did disclose that it's going to be not a bridge, but it's going to be box culverts that's going there instead. Okay. So we know that detail. Timeline is what we don't have at the moment, but we'll be able to have those tomorrow.
And I know you just said that you don't know all the full details, but I think the one message that we can push out there today, don't expect the bridge to be working by Monday. It's going to be a period of weeks, if not months, that we're looking at, right?
I do know that it is fully engineered. They did disclose that to me. It is going to be the procurement timeline and the construction timeline that I asked him to have when he meets with me tomorrow, right around lunchtime. So that's where we are. And of course, so the next question becomes, what happens with Cote Blanche, right? Because, man, everybody's got to go to South Lafourche Bridge.
Yeah.
And I could tell you that we've had a ton of trouble with the contractor. And there's limited information that I can share because we've had to engage an attorney on this from a contractual performance perspective. I know what I can disclose, and that's what I'm going to disclose here. And that is, yes, we've had to engage with an attorney to push on the contractor for delivery. We've submitted our demands. We're waiting on a response to that. I can also tell you that we do have a contractor teed up and ready to go, that if things don't go well, we are positioned to be able to move this forward so we can get that bridge running. If everything works out, we're probably 14 to 21 days to completion, unfortunately. There's some electrical work that needs to be done. There is still some physical work. You notice that there was some welding that was going on the bridge itself, some welding that needs to be finished. There are some platforms that are installed, but there's some step-ups that's got to be added to put the bridge closer devices on there. That's the arms that go across the traffic barricades. And then there are some ramp approaches that need to get installed along with some other electrical components. They have about a week left for welding. The installation of the arms is going to give them a couple days along with another week of electrical work. We have to install the winch because that was completely removed and overhauled. That is sitting in our possession, ready to go. Our mechanics are ready to go and install the cable. Some of that stuff we can do concurrently, and that's one of the conversations that we're having with the contractor so we can address that. So to tell you that without giving too much information out so we don't breach our legal advice, we have a plan with the current contractor. We have a plan, and if we need to go beyond that, and we are aggressively pushing with the contract to meet the contractual obligations that we have put in place. I will also tell you all that, yes, and this contract is out for the public to go and review. You can go find it on the Lafourche Parish government website. When it was passed, you can go search for it in the what we call Muni documents. They are beyond their time, and there are liquidated damages associated with that, and it is $500 a day. And they're in the 20-25 day range right now beyond the delivery scope. So that's where we are with that one. I see a couple comments that the sugarcane season is going to be wild. Yes, it will, Marcus. We are going to advise the sugar house that any sugar or cane that they're going to be hiring they're going to have to go to the South Lafourche Bridge. Obviously, we know that. What we're going to ask them is try and use 3235 as opposed to LA1 for a couple of reasons. One, keep the traffic off the front road. Secondly, there's going to be construction going on the front road, right?
Yes.
We've been wanting him to blacktop that, and guess what? We are getting our blacktop. So we're going to ask the sugar house with their truck drivers to please pass on to 3235. I do see another question about the airport bridge. That was published today. The airport bridge, a.k.a. the new Galliana Bridge or the Galliana Lift Bridge, will open at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. The plan behind that is, one, we the bridge operator on that. So we got to transition our bridge folks from the current Galliana pontoon over to that bridge. They've gone through some training this week, and so we're going to move them to that bridge after most of the traffic has passed and whatnot. We got to swing the Galliana Bridge open, the pontoon open, and then put the new bridge into service. So that's actually happening tomorrow at 8 a.m.
Obviously, as Parish President, I'm sure right now you are stressed to the max, but I feel like that's every day, right? Now with the bridge situation, with the way it is, the public is obviously frustrated. They're obviously, I would guess, concerned about how they're going to get to certain places and certain times. What's your big message to those folks to, hey, just pump the brakes a little bit?
I'm as frustrated as y'all are. There's some choice words that I certainly wouldn't want to use that's not proper for the podcast. I can tell you that there was some choice words that were dropped whenever I finished with the conversations, just because it's a contention of frustration knowing that we still don't have the Cote Blanche Bridge open. The one thing that I will say is please have some patience.
Yeah.
I know that anytime we do some construction, we run into some problems. Unfortunately, I will have to say this: with progress comes some headaches. We want things delivered properly. So like the Cote Blanche Bridge, we want a good product, and we're going to make sure, and I'm going to make sure that we get a good product out of this, regardless of the complete timeline. Secondly, we are very much used to our normal traffic paths. Plan a little bit when you're going to get on the road, and we know we're going to run into some delays, so that it goes back to that little bit of extra patience as we're traveling around. Look, I had a conversation with my wife. I says, look, because she teaches at South Lafourche High School, leave early, take the back road.
Yeah.
And where for her that works. That doesn't work for everyone. And look, honestly, the first phone call that I made after the phone call with DOTD was to Jared Martin, our superintendent, was to tell him, hey, this is what's going on. It's going to impact your buses.
Yes.
So you can start planning. Knowing that is a huge deal. And not just for high school. Most people drive to school nowadays or catch a ride. But for elementary and middle schools, we still got to run buses. And that's a hindrance. And so we got to plan around it. He was able to plan around what we had from McLeod. This one's a little bit more different because you got a lot more streets that exist from bridge to bridge, especially having to go from, East 36th Street all the way down to South Lafourche Bridge. So my biggest ask to the public is please be patient. And I can assure you that we're asking the questions and we've gone all the way to the top saying, hey, we need to keep traffic flowing. We are in the midst of hurricane season. Knock on wood, we're going to pray to the Almighty that we are free of hurricanes this year, but we still have to have adequate plans for medical emergencies. And so one of the things that we've had to recalibrate today is what does traffic control look like if we were needing to do some sort of evacuation. But the second thing was calling Devin at the fire district, our fire chief, and tell him what's going on and let him know what we're doing from the Cote Blanche Bridge perspective. But also, hey, we need a plan.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing. Tell us what you're thinking. Those are the types of things that we have to be prepared for as leaders in our community. And that, quite frankly, that's the part that keeps me up at night. I know folks aren't going to be happy and they're going to be fussing on Facebook. And look, you earned that right. I would be fussing just as much, and it's frustrating.
I didn't even think about the emergency services, the ambulances, and things like that.
That's a big deal, man.
Literally everything.
So, look, those are the kinds of things that run through our head every time something like this happens, and we have to be able to respond to it.
No, my question is, I'm thinking here, okay, and I'm just making up a blanket number. All right, if 100 cars passed on the South Lafourche Bridge, but now 250 cars passed on the South Lafourche Bridge, is that bridge capable of handling the increased workload? Is there a concern of overusing the bridges that are going to be taxed now?
I think that's a legitimate question. From a design perspective, the South Lafourche Bridge certainly is built for it. What is its current condition? That I can't tell you.
Yeah.
Simply because it's not a parish bridge, it's a state bridge. What I can tell you is that the bridges that we own, I know what they're capable of supporting. And the McDonald's Bridge, for example, can certainly handle all of that traffic. South Lafourche Bridge should be able to handle all of that traffic. In fact, it used to handle all of that traffic back before the back road was open.
Yeah.
From Walmart beyond. And they've done some work on the bridge. My understanding is that the structure is sound. So from an engineering perspective, it's built for it.
Okay, good deal. We have a person that asked in the chat about the light situation. There you go. Instead of the new Galena Bridge is replacing the pontoon, they plan to move those lights to the new bridge to replace the four-way stop. I know the answer to this, and I know it's a source of frustration for you. We were talking earlier, but it feels like you guys pushed pretty hard to get the lights, and were told that they were not needed.
That is 100% correct. So I was parish administrator at the time. Archie was parish president. So him and myself, along with Chet Chasson, our port director, and some port commissioners, went to DOTD and met with them. And keep in mind, the port is the folks that had bid the project. The parish put up some money. The state contributed some dollars. We got a grant, and the port put up some dollars as well. So it's a hodgepodge of funding to be able to get that working. But the port overall was the group that drove the bus on that particular project. But we went together because we jointly handled it together, and we asked DOTD to put lights there. And I specifically said, hey, we need lights, and here's why. Chet said the same thing. We all told the same story. And DOTD explicitly said, no, it doesn't meet our engineering design standards. The port offered to pay for the lights. Again, the same response. And look, Port has publicly said that recently. I've said it at a couple council meetings. And so right now there is no plan to move those lights. We certainly going to ask for that again, and I'm going to mention it to Glenn Leday, our Secretary of DOTD, when he comes down tomorrow. But there's only so much that we can ask for, and we've asked for that. We're going to continue to ask for it, and hopefully they'll come through in the long run.
Look, before we turned the mics on, you and I were talking, this repair project of the bridge that was taken out of service today was supposed to be replaced as part of a project that is ongoing.
Yeah.
Now, the bridge in Lockport that it was taken out of service also was part of that project. And you and I were talking before we turned the mics on. There is a little bit of a concern as they're continuing to inspect these older bridges and now have closed 2 of them. There could be other bridges in the future.
That's one of the things that I voiced concern over to Secretary Leday this afternoon whenever we were speaking. So over 10 years now, DOTD has been planning to replace what originally was a 5-bridge project on 308, and that is the McLeod Bridge, what they call the Valentine Bridge. There's another by the Valentine substation where the old tank battery was at, and then the Scully and what they call the LeBreton, which is the one by South Lafourche High School for the Breton Canal. They ended up having to replace a few years ago, probably 5-6 years ago now, the one by the substation. And DOTD, the old DOTD for sure, has been dragging their feet over this for a really, really long time. And they're finally moving it. And then lo and behold, they were planning on bidding this in January of this coming year and constructing this over the course of the next 18 months. Well, then we ended up with McLeod coming out of service. When all of that happened, the big axe that we had was, we recognize that you're going to go and bid these other bridges. You're saying that these other bridges should still continue to operate. Hurry up and take care of this one.
Expedite.
And they got to straighten out a curve there as well, because the curve was dangerous. And the bridge was actually going to get slid closer to the Bayou. So they agreed to do that, and it's currently out for bid. They are using some emergency funds, and they're going to get it done pretty quickly. And they're telling us that construction is going to be done between May and July of next year, which in DOTD terms is pretty quick. To us, it's incredibly slow. And if we go back to our all-field routes, we can build that road in 2 weeks, right? But it's the state. There's some federal funds involved, and you got to follow all kind of standards. Then here we are today with another bridge that is a part of that bridge bundle that's going to bid in January. So that is a cause for concern, because there's still, 3 other bridges that now, after this one goes out, we got 2 other bridges to be concerned about. And that's the one that's in Valentine by Valentine Chemical, and then the one by South High School. So that is a part of the conversation that we're going to have tomorrow with Secretary Leday and say, hey, okay, I know we got to replace these bridges. I know you were planning on replacing these bridges to where it didn't disrupt. In other words, we're going to have 2 bridges in South Lafourche out at one time, or 2 of them up the Bayou out at the same time. We had that planned out. Now, where we're at today, that doesn't necessarily work anymore. So how do we address this moving into the future? We can't have 2 of them out at the same time. And if we have any more failures, we really stuck up a creek without a paddle. And we saw what happened in Tarpon parishes when they had 5 bridges that were out, and we can't have that happen here in Lafourche.
Yeah.
And that is my message to our state leaders. And that's the same conversation that Joe and I had. He's saying the exact same thing. I want to say Joseph Orgeron, our rep, and Brian Fontenot has also said the same thing, and they are supporting our endeavor. So, and they're telling the governor and Secretary Leday the exact same thing. We got to get these bridges operating. We have to do it very quickly, and we need to do it in the least disruptive way to where we don't cause a greater traffic problem across this parish, because we're so linear.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. I remember when we were having a bunch of bridge issues in Parish President Chasson's regime, he was pushing at one time to try to get like a change in the curfew at, I believe, the Intercoastal Bridge. Is there any thought or consideration to expanding or changing when the bridge is able to open and close, knowing that, hey, man, right now at probably 5:15, we can't have boats going through because it would be a nightmare logistically.
So, yes, there was a push there, and there was a temporary curfew that was granted. We are in the process of submitting a letter. I'd actually drafted it up before I came here, submitting to Coast Guard because we got to get Coast Guard approval for that. Sometimes they grant them, sometimes they don't. But one of the things that we are going to be pushing for, and I'm going to ask Secretary Leday tomorrow, is can we also put one on the West Intercoastal Bridge? Yes. That causes a host of issues as well for those that are trying to go back and forth there. We're going to need to look at extending, at least temporarily, those bridge closure hours, certainly at the South Lafourche Bridge. So that's something else that, now granted, I can send a letter, but if we can get support from the state, it carries more weight than just the parish president asking for it. Granted, we do speak to those folks at Coast Guard, and they will certainly push for us as well. The captain for this area is certainly a friend. When I worked in industry, he was a Marine inspector years ago. He transferred out and has come back. And Commander Franz is certainly someone who wants to help our community. So we're pretty hopeful that we'll be successful in the long run there.
So look, man, you got an audience of a lot of Lafourche listening right now, and then a lot of Lafourche is going to listen after the fact. What would be your message to them to try to make sure that, everybody's staying patient, staying safe? I know you're just as frustrated, if not more so, than a lot of the people that'll be on the roads. What's your message to the constituents right now that, hey, man, this is a rough time, this is an annoying time, but this too shall pass?
Look, indeed, a friend of mine at work sent me a message that indeed said just that. Mitch, this too shall pass. Because she realizes how much I really do take this to heart, and I get frustrated, and anybody sits in that seat does. But look, I know we're down the Bayou centric, but I also have to mention we've got a bridge. Now this is a parish bridge in Thibodaux.
Mm-hmm.
It is on Talbot Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
It crosses the Richfield Ditch. It's 18 foot long, and there's 18 piles that need to be replaced. Contractor started working there this week. The crane's going to show up there next week, and it's going to take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks, probably 4 weeks to do the complete work. They got to pull the bridge apart, put the new piles in, put the bridge back together. There are some components that we can reuse, and there's some new components that are going in place. And that's caused a ton of traffic on that, what we call that northwestern side of Thibodaux. And there's folks that have, since the hurricane moved up there, that have called, that I know from down here, that have called and says, hey, man, we've got a lot of traffic is going through the neighborhoods, and kind of like how people like to pass through West 107 so they can get up to the front road from the back road. And kind of they're passing that same avoidance up there. And fortunately, what we were able to do in the matter of a week and a half is get engineer drawings, get them approved, and get the contractor going. And for right at $200,000, we're going to change all the piles underneath that bridge. So what I can tell you is where we have the funding, and it's something that the parish can control, we have the ability to be able to react fast. Cote Blanche Bridge, unfortunately, is in a situation where we had to publicly bid it. Our maintenance contractor couldn't do it because it was greater than $250,000. What does that mean? So let me backtrack a little bit. Sure. This other job is under $250,000, so we can use our maintenance contractor that we have to go in a hurry up and effect the repair. The Cote Blanche Bridge is greater than $250,000. In fact, it's right at $1 million. So we had to publicly bid it and go with the apparent low bidder. That's the state law. That's where we are. But I want all the public to know that where we can react, we are reacting. We're getting out in front of it as best as we can. And we want the public to know that we feel the pain just as much as you, and we are traveling those same roads as y'all are.
I don't know how you could answer this question, if at all, but when you talk about the low bid process, is there ever a time as an administrator when you see the bid come in and then you see another company that maybe you think is a little more reputable, maybe a little more qualified, but they just missed the mark. And you're like, darn, because there's a situation like, we know this. We go to Walmart, we buy the cheapest product that there is, but the product that maybe is a little more expensive might taste a little better, might be a little more durable, whatever it may be. Are there times when in this low bid process, you're wondering like, dadgummit, I wish that they would not have had the low bid?
Yes. Simple answer.
Good answer.
Absolutely. And it's the way the state rules are written. And I've reached out to our state reps to see if there are some things that we can do maybe to start working on that, because there are some contractors, unfortunately, that are a challenge to work with. Now, we still have to be a good customer.
Of course, yeah.
And the engineer that designs has to do a good job, right? So it truly takes a team for it to all work. But, that is absolutely a challenge that we run into. And I will tell you, we have some really good contractors out there, too.
Sure.
That win the low bids as well.
Sure. Is there any sort of like a 3 strike and you're out policy kind of thing where if you do wrong by the parish a couple times, you guys could exclude them in the future? Is that anything that's out there?
There are some provisions. It's not a 3 times you're out. We have to hold them in default. Then we have to call a bond. It has to be legitimate. There's a legal process that you got to go through to hit that. And I can tell you the bar is quite high and the burden of proof is on us. So it is something that we've been pretty aggressive at. Some of that has to do with the fact that, come from the all field and everything that you do is by contract, right?
Yeah.
And so, for us is, this is what we designed. You need to build it to the design. And we also got to make sure that the design's appropriate. I did see somebody make a comment about their trying to get a permit. Please call our office and if you want to talk to
it's Nick causing trouble over here.
Get with me and we can talk through that. I can also tell you that there are some requirements for some stamp plans, and I'll get with you on the sidebar so we can address that and we can talk to our permits director.
Is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
If we could go do a quick little update on what we got moving around the parish.
Of course, we ain't going nowhere.
So, we're getting to the end of the year. Budgets are tight. And so, of course, we got to go and make some updates and whatnot. But one of the things that, we've done is a belt tightening at Lafourche. And I know that was some of the questions that had come up when we were talking about the tax rules. And, we've put in place a hiring freeze for several months now. There are some positions that we haven't filled. I will tell you that we have some positions open in public works, but that is not associated with it's field positions. Folks that are going to sweep your ditches, cut the grass in the ditches. We are filling those. But if it's an office position, we're not doing that. So I wanted to put that out there for the public to be able to know that is control of overhead is really, really something that I think is important. It's important to me, and I know it's important to the public. We did talk about a few projects that we're looking at. We got Lady to See Clinic in La Rose.
That's a big one.
The state got a submission right now, not DOTD, by the way. A group that we work with really well, and they're reviewing everything that we can put it out to bid and start construction. So that's moving along really well. We hoping that by the end of this year that we are doing some groundbreaking so we can get moving. So that's really exciting. In Raceland, we had talked about turfing some fields. That's moving along with some grant money that we have.
Good.
And we also mentioned up in Thibodaux where we're going to build the new Head Start site there. And then we're going to get everybody out of the little bitty modular buildings. In Lockport, we have a great set of buildings for them to be in. And of course, at South Lafourche, we have Head Start in the library. So those are moving along. Another project that we have in the South Lafourche area that is something to be excited about, the back road's basically a levee. And we put in an application a few years ago, was awarded it to go to full design, and Joe Picciola just wrapped up the design to submit to the state and to us for review. We call it West Side Drainage, where we're going to be working on lowering some of the culverts underneath 3235. They're too high. Water tends to back up on the front side of the back road, and it holds water back. West 13th and 11th is one area that tends to hold a lot of water. By Cutoff Elementary is another area. We're doing a big drainage project around the Cutoff Elementary area right now. So if you go take a ride over there, you're going to be noticing that we're changing some culverts out, sweeping a ditch, all of that other good stuff. That's kind of tied to that project. And last but not least, there's an area really by the hospital too that tends to hold water. Pricing is going to be the biggest driver. How far we're going to be able to get, how many culvert crossings we'll be able to make. So it's a $5 million grant. And if we need to go back and chase it again to expand it, we will. But we're really excited to be able to get that one submitted to the state. That way we can get on the construction there too. So one of our big things that we continue to push is chasing grants. And, whether it's fighting blight, whether it's to work for flooding, whether it's a grant to work on some bridges and the like, we do that. So you got a question?
Yeah, Marcus, is there a racetrack being built on the corner of 308 and the new bridge in Larose?
We have not gotten an application for permit at that location. So I'm completely unaware of that. And I would say nothing is outside the realm of possibility, but we have not received any information from a business looking to locate there or a permit.
Let me ask you this. Okay, so we did get the big breaking news that Italians coming to the Chinese buffet. Are there any businesses that you could tell us that are maybe in the works that could be, and don't even have to be down the bayou, just anywhere in Lafourche?
I think one of the big things that was talked about a little bit, and then somehow it got some negative information, was what they called the McLeod Business Park in Lockport.
Oh, yeah. People were freaking out about that, and I didn't understand that. So explain that.
People freak out about it.
So to make a long story short, the state put out some money for a grant application that the parish has to apply for in conjunction with property owner. And it's called a fast site. And in other words, it's to fastly develop a location to create business. The property owner, which is public now, is Mr. Hugh Caffrey, said, hey, I'd like to apply for this. We assisted him in doing that. There's no parish dollars that is going to develop this business park. It is state grant dollars, and the property owner's got to pay it back with the development. There has been some interest because of that, and there's a multitude of reasons for it. It is well located.
Yeah.
It's close to Highway 90, especially after we get the McLeod Bridge fixed.
It's a very trafficked area.
It is a trafficked area. It is an open parcel of property where you can make it quite expansive, and then there's room for additional expansion. But on top of that, there's transmission line there from Entergy, and there's also a host of pipelines there for natural gas.
Okay.
So it makes it very appealing for a small industrial site. It makes it very appealing for potential manufacturing and for storage and warehousing. There's been really a generation of interest over that. But what I do want everybody to know is that the parish is not putting any dollars into that project.
Well, that's not what I read on Facebook.
Well, I know. I saw the comments on Facebook, and I had to stop looking.
Telling me not everything on Facebook's real.
I know, it sure isn't. How about that? So that is probably an exciting project. And then, we keep talking about Port Fourchon. We need to remember that is the greatest economic engine that we have.
Oh, amen.
And our commissioners there and Chet as the port director and his team have constantly hit it out of the park, and us as parish government do everything we can to be able to help them out. And we keep that as that, shining star.
Last time we had you on, we were talking a lot about the recreation renewal. So went to my first meeting on the rec side, and a lot of the conversation was about the Cabela Law standard. Can you give a little insight on what maybe you know about that and maybe how you see that looking?
So Cabela's law it's a law per se. And we may need our attorney friend to help me out here, but it is a precedent that was established, I'm pretty sure, by the state Supreme Court. And it effectively says that the parish cannot provide something of economic value without getting anything in return. That's the layman's term of it. I'll give you a good example. And this is the best one ever, and we live by we get stuck with this every day. We cannot go put a culvert in an open ditch along the street in your yard, except the driveway. That's all we're allowed to do because we have to provide a nexus, in other words, a connection to your parcel of property. The rest of it's considered landscape, and that is improving private property. So we can't do that. So let's bring that to the recreational side of it. The recreational piece is if you are using a ball field and you are charging to access the ball field or charging children to play on that field by virtue of being a part of a team, you have to pay to utilize the field. That is effectively how we have to comply with the Cabela's law. And I could tell you that's the case across the entire parish, not just here.
Right.
If you are, and it's like that across the state. If you're a travel ball team, you're a rec ball team, and you're not associated with the district itself, you got to pay to utilize the field. Can it be a nominal cost? Yes. The other piece to this, and this is where it gets really confusing, is the group that is utilizing the field can offer in-kind services to make up the cost of or the payment of the utilization of the field. So how do we capture all of that and keep it proper on the up and up? It's called a cooperative endeavor agreement. That agreement is entered into by the organization that wants to utilize the field and the district, agreeing to the terms of what is that in-kind service is going to look like, or what the cost of the field is going to look like, and stipulating that you are agreeing to those terms. Basically a small contract.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Brandon's got a good point of it. You can't make private gains with the public facilities. That's what effectively the Cabela's law is. I know that there's been some confusion when all of this really started to come out. We've had some meetings with the rec districts where we've told them, hey, look, we can help you with this. We've put them in touch with the district attorney's office, who is the legal advisor, not only for the parish, but for all of the districts as well, to help them. They've been given a template to utilize to draw them up. If they got some questions, they know that they can call Jennifer, they can call myself. Of course, we always tell them to reach out to the district attorney's office as well to help review it. We work through these on a routine basis. I do too. Every time we enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement, we have to ensure that we're not violating Cabela's law. So we have to be pretty comfortable with it. So that's what it is. It could be very complicated depending on how large the agreement and the contract is and all the nuances that are in it. My advice is keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
That way it's, one, easy to read. Two, we don't have to be a lawyer. No offense, my friend. And we all can deal with it, because let's face it, the folks on the board aren't attorneys, right? And if me or you are signing the agreement as coaches, which I'm not going to be doing that as a coach because I'm not coaching, but just saying, we all going to understand it. We can agree to it. We can move on.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what's going on there. And again, if you run into any questions, my door's open. I'll be more than happy to have a discussion about it. But it is some things that we have to comply with, and I can tell you that if we're not complying, our legal advisor is going to do what is necessary to ensure that we do comply.
Yeah, and look, I asked because there's been a lot of discussion. Unfortunately, I had to dive into exactly what that is, so you kind of speak in my language right now. Tommy doesn't even know, but he helped me out on mine for our basketball league. So my spinoff question to that, and if there is, I don't know, is the parish ever going to have the ability or the want to offer recreational services ran by the parish? And if so, when can you hire me to do it?
Unfortunately, with us set up as districts, it would have to be up to the individual district. But I will tell you that I'm open to having those discussions because I think it's necessary. if we do it parish-wide, there are always some challenges. And the reason why I say that is each individual district likes to control their own destiny.
Sure.
And out of respect for them, I don't want to go and step into their cornflakes, right? And I don't want to be in their business. And I could tell you that they don't want that issue either. So for Rec District 3, for South Lafourche, they don't have a millage. All of their funds is funded through parish-wide rec, so that runs through our budget. If that is something that they're willing to entertain, I will support them in any way possible. And honestly, look, if the other districts want to do something that is more parish-wide, is it more work for us? Yes. But we're willing to have that conversation so we can make it work. We just want to make it work.
Right. And I was just curious.
For the kids.
I was just curious.
Yes.
Because I know in other parishes surrounding parishes, they have those opportunities.
Yeah.
And I would always wonder what that may look like.
And look, a lot of that too is because they're consolidated as opposed to being, completely separated. That plays a big role in it. But look, for us, it's about quality of life. That's one of the things that any businesses coming to Lafourche Parish want to see. It's do we have a good school system? We know we have it. We got an incredible university, and we have a great technical college. We have some good facilities, and we've made some improvements with that post ida. Just looking at the lighting we were able to accomplish. That was a big fight from FEMA, but we were able to get there.
Yep.
And it took me 2 years before we were able to get it. But that is one of the things that I'm most proud about because we were able to accomplish that.
And those poles ain't going anywhere now.
Well, I could tell you that's designed for 160 mile an hour winds. The bases are 30 foot in the ground.
Now, look, I got action. I got to give you a little grief. I asked you a minute ago, hey, are there any exciting economic things? And you talked about an awesome project, but I'm talking about like stuff that I could put in my belly. Is there a restaurant or something coming that you know of, or an ice cream shop or anything that you know of down the pipe that people would want to know about?
I don't know of any, unfortunately. It would be great to have a cool ice cream and a coffee shop down here. In fact, one of the things that I'm trying to explore, that would be great, Cody.
Get a Waffle House. Yeah, you should Waffle House at the port.
That would be great.
It'd be 500 pounds away out of it.
One of the things that we talked about exploring, and it's something we're going to bubble back up, is making like a mini coffee shop in the library.
That'd be cool. Yeah, that would be cool.
So hey, it's something that we can work on. But no, I haven't heard anything about any new restaurants, but I have heard that Share Me's is really awesome.
Oh yeah. We ain't hurting. We got some stuff.
Mama's Kitchen's still really good. We've got an incredible Japanese restaurant. I love their tuna surprise. We got Mimos. So
got a lot of good stuff. If I ever retire from coaching basketball, I'm opening a food truck. That I could promise.
That would be pretty cool. Didn't we have one by Jack's Exxon for a little while?
They still have.
It's still there?
They have like a little park or something.
So anyway, I know nothing new, but man, we got some great stuff.
Let me ask you this, Mr. President. So last time we had you on, we were pushing to try to get everything renewed and everything, and the voters have done that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know one thing that a lot of people are going to say, and they're going to want it to be faster than it's possible to get done. But have conversations about tax reform started since those renewals?
Look, that is something that I've committed myself to. We have identified all our members, and I'm in the process right now of coordinating schedules so we can have our first meeting. Not one person on that committee is, and we're going to formally announce it, but not one member on that committee is elected. They're all unelected because I didn't want a elected person to cloud the waters. We want that to be an objective group of folks. And the idea is us elected officials will be able to go and explain what it is that we're doing with our budgets and be completely transparent. So that's coming. And in September, we will have a meeting. It will be publicized. It'll be in Matthews, so it's centrally located. The idea is to do it in the council chambers, after work hours. So it's going to be, 5:30, something like that. And the initial ask is going to be, let's take a look at all of the millages across the parish and the percentages of how they're levied, and just, start looking at the buckets of, maybe we can do some consolidation here. And us as elected officials already have some of those ideas, and we can share that, but we don't want to cloud them with anything.
Yeah,
we want it
that
to be
makes sense.
objective. So that is coming down the pike, and the idea is to be able to have some recommendations. I know everybody wants something done tomorrow. It's probably going to take 12 to 18 months before we get this done properly.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's going to be about going back to the voters and saying, hey, this is what we've come up with. These were the recommendations, and now we're asking to implement those.
And when you're going to be doing that, you'll have the support of a lot of the business leaders in our community on that committee backing you up, saying, hey, yeah, this is what we found and this is what we saw.
And we have some business members that are on the committee, and we have non-business members on the committee. I did it that way on purpose. That way it's not just somebody that everyone is coming at it from a business perspective, right? I think that's also important because perspectives are important. And so, it's no secret that Mr. Neil Adams, as a business owner, has been invited to the committee, and Pete Melisson as well.
Yeah, it's two good choices.
We have Mr. Gerald Block, who's an attorney from Thibodeau. We've also spoke with Miss Allie Rouse, who's agreed as well. And Mr. Elliot Day has agreed to join the committee as well.
Nice. And
last but not least, Mr. Chris Huddleston, who is attorney and is from Lockport, has agreed. So we've got a spread across the parish. We got up the Bayou, down the Bayou represented, and we've got some, we got some middle and then out and about coming down the pike, and we're working on that. Last but not least, I did see something about lunches at Lewis's Garage.
I need to know more about that.
I'm still going. I know there's going to be some traffic, but hey, it's going to be in the middle of the day, so I haven't made one in a hot minute, but I plan on going back. So I love Mr. Lewis, and I love the meals there. The camaraderie is great.
They tell me that's the place to be on a Thursday.
And I will tell you what they do with the money that they raise by virtue of the meal is absolutely wonderful. They've donated some money to school.
I was about to say, tell me more. Okay, that's cool, man. That is really cool.
What I say is take your $20. It's $10, but take $20, go eat, and then ask Mr. Lewis how much they've donated over the years.
That's awesome.
It's worth the $20,
cool, man. That's awesome.
To know how it's going back into the community. All over, a bunch of guys getting together and having dinner.
So you go drink coffee at Jack's in the morning, and then you go Lewis Garage for lunch. That's a day.
That's
a day.
It's campaigning can be grueling, but that's probably one of the nice parts about it.
That's awesome. Well, look, Mr. President, we kept you an hour plus. I know you got a long day tomorrow. Thank you so much for coming on by, my man. As honestly, we thought we were getting a phone call, but we got even better. We got you here in the flesh.
I'll come back again.
Hey, you're always welcome.
Yep, absolutely.
We
do have some jambalaya for you, and I think there's a microwave in here if we got to heat it up or whatever. Maybe we could get that for you.
I stuffed my face before I came. Actually, when I left the office, it was almost 6 o'clock, and so no, it was later than that because we had a planning commission meeting, so it was about 6:30 when I left. So I ate earlier.
Are you gonna sleep tonight?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
I didn't think so.
I'll probably sleep for about 2 hours.
So if I go to text you at like 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm up, can I expect an answer?
You probably will get
okay. Noted.
Well, dude, the parish appreciated. We'd had a lot of comments and everything. We certainly appreciate it, and go make it happen, my man.
We're working on it. Thanks to everybody for their support. And thank you guys.
Appreciate you.
That is Mr. Mitch Orgeron, our parish president. Man, we get the South Lafourche football coach and the parish president in the same episode back to back. Who else is going to get
Go Tarpons.
Yes.
Y'all didn't even want to record tonight.
Whoa. Wait a minute. That'd be a good time for us to take a break because we got some things that we got to iron out here. We are going to probably pause for a little bit. We're going to take a quick break when we get back.
I got one comment. Nichols is playing tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, yes.
Anybody that wants to be a Nichols fan, go support them. Go Colonels.
Well, all right, before we let you go, what do you make of, and I know you're not a massive sports guy, but what do you make of this nonsense of NFL guys going to LSU? And what are your thoughts on all that stuff?
I don't know what to think about it.
I don't think anyone does.
I love it. I'm the only person that loves it.
I mean, you saw what the SEC put out, was it yesterday or tonight?
Today.
Now, Monday in court, they're challenging that. Now, they're saying, okay, well, you're not going to honor that injunction, but you're going to honor others. That's discrimination. We're going to go to court on Monday and see. Tommy's grinning from ear to ear. He knows the lawyers are about to make a bunch of money on this. It's all going to go to court.
people are thinking that this is going to, I'm going to get on my soapbox. People are thinking this is going to happen every year. It's a 1-year thing. They just made the 5th year, whatever, eligible. Of course you're going to get guys going to come back. Whenever they left, they didn't have that option. They had to leave. But now you open it back up. Let them go, man.
I call that the law of unintended consequences. And this was something that I tell the team all the time is when we make a decision, we need to be thinking what's the effect down the line, not just budgetary-wise, but how does it impact the culture within the organization? What's going to happen 2 or 3 years from now? Is there a cost for maintenance, et cetera? Look, this is a perfect example of when they sat down and they made the decision, they didn't think through the implications of it. And here it is staring them in the face. And then now they're going to have to react. The problem is sometimes the reaction is worse than the original decision. Look, the 5th year thing, hey, sounds great. But now you got people that declare they want to come back, right?
And legally, it's you could kind of sort of see their point. Like, if this guy could do it, why can't I? Yeah. And then, okay, now they're going to say, well, you signed a professional contract. Well, that guy's making $10 million playing at LSU anyway, so we're all pros now. So it opens up a can of worms that have splattered everywhere.
Yeah, I don't have an opinion, quite honestly, but I will be certainly sitting back with my arms crossed watching it.
Yeah, look, Monday's going to be a historic day one way or the other. Whatever that judge says, it's going to be a historic day.
I can tell you one thing. We don't have that problem at Nichols.
Right. Not a whole lot of the NFL guys.
They are in it for the heart and the grit, and because at the end of the day, they know they're not going pro, and those boys just want to play ball and represent the Bayou the best.
I'm glad you brought that up, as they do play tomorrow. We definitely want to give them their flowers. Go on out, support them tomorrow at John L. Guidry Stadium. They're going to put a hurting on Mississippi Valley, get to 1-0, start the year.
Go Colonels.
Catch a break, Mr. St. Pierre.
Before we go to the break, is this good to play?
Yeah, that's PC. We're good.
This segment is sponsored by the law office of Tommy J. Bado. He's not as good as Chad, but he's close.
Yeah, we do some things in our spare time. I love it. We'll take a break. When we get back, we'll talk some LSU. It's the group chat. Hope everybody's having a wonderful night.
The law office of Tommy J. Bado. Not quite as good as Matt Orey, but every bit as corrupt. The hammer of justice in our region. That's Bado Law. The Group Chat Podcast.
All right, welcome back. It is the Group Chat Podcast here on this Wednesday night. We've had a very eventful Wednesday night. Now let's jump into some stuff that we could use Tommy's legalese and expertise on.
The hammer of justice.
The hammer of justice. We all have seen the headlines. We all know what is going on, where players who have played 4 years of college football, but thought that their eligibility was done, or even in some cases opted for the draft, now have signed professional contracts. But with the 5-for-5 thing, are saying, whoa, wait a minute, where's my 5th year? And now are, in some cases, holding out of mini camps, asking to be released, going back to the collegiate ranks because, frankly, they're making more money in college football than they are as a low-level, undrafted rookie, free agent, whatever it may be in the NFL. LSU's got 2 of them, both from Ole Miss, tight end, defensive lineman. There are about 20, 25 others that are going to go all over the place. Everybody's picking on LSU. They're going to go all over the place if this Monday court hearing goes the way that the players hope that it will. So my question to Tommy is, and by the way, we've all seen it. The Big Ten said, we're passing this. You can't play. The SEC passed the same. The ACC is going to pass the same. But you're the resident attorney. And I hear the argument of the players and their legal teams was saying, well, wait a minute. You are taking what this judge is saying and you're saying, whoa, that ain't right. We don't like that injunction. We don't like that ruling. So we're going against that. But in the case of, let's say, Trinidad Chambliss, who was not eligible to play, but got a court ruling, but the SEC says, oh, yes, we honor that. We respect the judge. You're going to respect one judge's ruling, but not the other, based on what you like and what you don't like? Mr. Bado, that's discrimination. And that's what's going to be argued Monday in court. Tell me if I'm wrong and be objective. I know that you're going to be angry because it's going to mean LSU gets a lot of players. I think the players are going to win on Monday, and I would be shocked, frankly, if they don't.
I'll be upfront. I have not really been following this because, yes, I am biased and I hate it. I think it's dumb, but there's always going to be lawyers. Damien is right, too. This is probably going to be maybe this year.
Say that again.
Damien is right that this is, I think this is at worst a 2-year thing, this year and possibly next year. There's always going to be lawyers involved in athletics for eligibility shit, whether it's high school, whether it's, God, maybe coming soon, I don't know, lower schools. But I think in direct response to what you just laid out, I think the stance that the SEC and the NCAA are going to take is with Chambliss, he didn't go pro. And I think they're going to hold it to the vest because there was a time when, and of course it's affecting him now, double is Seth Trimble, because they were passing that rule about after the COVID. And if you didn't get your 5th year because of the COVID 5 years, like they were thinking about the people who enrolled, I guess, the year after, they should get a 5th year too, just like Baycott did. And of course, my mind's just going to UNC.
Yeah, I got you.
Trimble they were talking about this happening before he declared. He went play Summer League. All of a sudden, this ruling comes. He comes to go back. And UNC's got a full roster. And like, hey, bro, we can't take you. But then the ruling happens, and then he has to go sign with somebody else. And then the other injunction happens, and then he's immediately ineligible. But they have guys on the team similar to Chambliss. It was a grad transfer guy who didn't declare for the whatever, but all of a sudden got a 5th year, and he immediately becomes a top 5 transfer. He enrolls in UNC, and now his eligibility is on the fringe too. I think what NCAA is going to hold their feet to is, yes, we're being discriminatory, but we're being discriminatory towards people who stayed the cause and didn't take the professional steps, kind of like waiting for this ruling to happen to preserve their eligibility rather than go chase greener pastures. And look, I'm not saying some of them couldn't have made it. Like, everybody's talking about Pyburn and with Tampa because he actually did good. But like RJ Lewis, that's just a curious case of he went to chase money. He just wasn't good enough. That's what I think a lot of these kids are realizing is, okay, yeah, well, I would have stayed if I'd have known, but you could have stayed. You could have did with some of these other kids and not declared, and then maybe tried to enter the supplemental draft or something. But I think that's what the NCAA is ultimately going to argue, that we weren't really discriminatory. We were just, these kids who we are allowing to play didn't jeopardize their amateur status.
Hey, let me cut you off right there. What's your favorite thing to eat?
My favorite thing to eat?
Yeah.
Ever?
Simple question.
McDonald's hash browns.
Okay. So you went to a buffet and there was no McDonald's hash browns. And when you left, you saw them putting McDonald's hash browns on the buffet. Like, what would you think about that? Would you go back and grab one? Would you just leave pissed off?
I would probably leave pissed off and then come back the next day and try to scope out some hash browns.
This is the situation. You didn't know you had the option. The option wasn't there. And then it got brought to the buffet. And now you got to go eat.
Can we all agree, no matter what side of the fence we're on, can we all agree that the NCAA screwed this up by not just having the foresight to say, we understand a lot of these 4-year guys are phasing out. We're going to just let you guys have another year, because some of these guys thought they were done. And now in July or whatever, or June, are finding out, whoa, wait, there's a legal way to get back in. They would have never gone undrafted and signed in a mini camp and none of that stuff. They would have went back to school. So why didn't the NCAA from the very beginning just say, hey, bro, like, we can just let y'all play?
I mean, that's a good question. I think that's what's ultimately going to happen is they're going to have to pass a hard stance 5-year rule. No matter how, no matter what, 5 years removed from whether you want to call it high school, or I know a lot of these basketball guys go to these prep schools. It's got to be a 5-year period from once you enroll to whatever. I think that's what's ultimately going to, or whatever, or maybe it'll be 6. I think they're going to have to pass some either kind of dead set time limit or some kind of age thing, which I don't know if you could do age thing, because then you have like these 40-year-old PE teachers who come out of retirement and they're like the punter and whatever. But I'm guessing you're going to have to pass some kind of hard line. You have this many years. barring medical red shirts, like you had that freaking dude who was like 9 years in college. I mean, give up the dream, bro.
That's what they did. That's the rule now, but it wasn't in place then. And we keep talking about conjunction and all. I'm gonna tell you what song comes
Losing
next.
your shoe and a button or two. He's poor, but on a sad but true.
What's your
Conjunction junctions? What's your function?
That's all I hear every time I hear that word.
I got a question.
Sure.
I haven't been paying too much attention to that. The whole guys coming back from the NFL. What makes them eligible to come back to college?
Every one of them that is in the NFL trying to come back to college played 4 years of college football and is now saying, whoa, wait a minute, it's 5 for 5 now. I got another year. And their argument is, okay, yeah, I might have signed a professional contract. I don't give a shit. Everybody's making money now. We're all pros. So this high school senior who's going to sign next year is going to have 5 years. Why I don't have 5 years? Why was I not grandfathered into the system? That's their argument.
Okay, so I know a guy, graduated high school last year.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to college.
Yep.
Can he come back and play wide receiver and point guard for South Lafourche?
This is college, not high school.
But it starts out at college, then comes to high school.
But high school has a clear rule. You got 4 years of eligibility.
So did college.
But now they have a rule that says you got 5 years of eligibility.
Let's just look at laws like they're passed. Like you can't I don't want to say most because there might be some caveats. You pass a law, like for instance, every year, all the tort reform bullshit. It's not retroactive. Like when they passed that 2-year prescription, it went into effect on January 1st and that was it. You couldn't go back. So if you had a year to file a lawsuit and you waited till a year and 3 days after the new law, you couldn't be, whoa. These people who got in a wreck on January 1st get to 2 years to sue. Why don't I get to? It didn't matter. The laws weren't retroactive. But that's I don't understand why the NCAA couldn't use that and say, hey, we hear you, but this is something new. You aren't grandfathered in because it's a retroactive law to this class, this senior year, blah, blah, blah. And then they might cry COVID. Oh, well, what about the COVID? Well, that's a natural disaster circumstance. That was the only reason that was ever implemented in the first place.
I know we make fun of this stuff is because they're thinking locally and we're thinking globally. That's the problem.
I will raise my hand right now. As an LSU fan, if Monday the NCAA wins, which I don't think they will, but if Monday of the NCAA wins, I'm going to throw a shit fit that Trinidad Chambliss is eligible, but my guys are not.
Yep.
Because he was ruled by the NCAA to not be eligible. You don't get an extra year. You had tonsillitis. That doesn't warrant a medical red shirt. Why are we listening to what that judge has to say, but not what the other judges have to say? That's bullshit. If the LSU side, or I guess the LSU side, the 30-plus player side loses on Monday, that's what I'm going to be tooting all year long. That's bullshit. If you follow what one judge says, you got to follow them all. If you follow what no judges say, then everybody is eligible and able to play.
I guess I hear that, and once again, I'm not plugged into this because I hope NCAA wins. I don't know what court Chambliss's ruling came from.
Oxford.
So, but was it a federal court? Because a federal court's going to have more jurisdiction than a court in Baton Rouge.
Twice he was ruled ineligible. I'm
with you, and they're just going to hang their hat on. He didn't go declare for the pros. I guess that's going to be their only thing.
So what makes their judge better than our judge?
Because you have a shit show storming in Baton Rouge with a professional team coming.
Okay, well, this was a shit show in an Oxford court. What's the difference?
If it would have been LSU, y'all would have been okay with it.
No, Tommy. If he were the fifth string tight end, they would have never even tried to get. If he were anything but the star quarterback, none of this ever happens. And we know that's the case.
There's always going to be injunctions. Everybody's going to try to do something.
And look, by the way, I'll raise my hand and say, I don't think they should be eligible. I don't think they should be eligible. But what I'm saying is if we're listening to the judges, we're listening to the judges all the time. Don't just listen to the judges when it hurts LSU. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not against LSU's whole roster. Now, granted, there's some 28-year-old Europeans. I don't think they should be eligible. But if there's a 21-year-old Euro dude who's never played college or something, yeah, that's fine. Go get him. Well, wait, I don't care. You could be like freaking Illinois was last year. I'm cool with that. But like R.J. Lewis, and then the guy who won the Eurobasket MVP was like 26, or like,
it's a good get.
We're gonna be so good.
Good find.
If Will Wade was coaching at UL or fucking UNC, yeah, I'd be eating it up too. Like, here I am, y'all screwed me over. I'm back. I'm fucking y'all all over again because of what y'all did to me. I get it, but it's becoming a little ridiculous, and I think it's almost. I think he's rubbing it in their face so much that if they do lose, it's going to be because of how bad he's doing it, like to shove it in their face.
I just think it's funny that yesterday, all over social media, were all these cucks from Ole Miss, like, they're building a professional team out there, Paul. And then it comes out today that the tight end that LSU got from Ole Miss was offered by Ole Miss. So they were recruiting his ass too.
Lane Kiffin said they were offered multiple times by teams within the SEC.
Oh, but it's only LSU breaking the rules, Paul. No, it's not.
The rules weren't broken.
Well, at the time, yeah, you're right. They're not breaking any rules right now. I look, Monday, as a guy who loves sports and is, kind of a historian, it's a historic day. Whatever happens Monday in that courtroom, one way or the other, whether we like it or not, that's a day we're going to go back to in history and say, hey, this is either the day that we let him in or this is the day that we kicked him out.
But it's a one-year thing.
You know it's going to happen if NCAA loses, and not really worried about football. For me, it's more about the basketball team. Football is going to, the 1, 2, or 3 or 4 players, I don't think that's going to win LSU a national championship. The fucking tight end.
Honestly, they're getting dudes right now just to so other schools don't get them. They don't need the Ole Miss's tight end. They got Trudez Green.
On the basketball front, let's say LSU runs Final Four or something, and it's only this 1 year, you're gonna have people, probably me, that's got to have an asterisk by it. That 2026-27 season, it's kind of like the bubble championship. Do we count it?
Tommy, have you ever hated LSU more than you do now? With all this stuff going on with getting professional players. You got the basketball team getting professional players. You got the football team getting professional players. You got the women's basketball coach trying to settle a war between Ukraine and Russia.
That women's basketball coach shit pissed me off. You kicked off a girl off the team whose dad's in the war because you signed a Lithuanian? Have we no soul?
She had a Ukrainian player on the team. You got a Russian player. Ukrainian was like, nah, I ain't playing with this Russian. And then she's trying to well, maybe if y'all get together and be friends, y'all can show the Russians and the Ukrainians that everybody can get along.
And she's like, nah, bro, I'm out.
Golden Man and LCO kids play with each other all the time at South.
The only thing saving them is that they got Bebe back.
The whole reason why you're upset with this is because Florida's not doing it. And we came up with it.
Florida's trying. They just can't get anybody.
Florida might have the
Summerall's
best running back in college football.
Summerall's building the right way. We're good.
I agree.
We're good.
All right. So, this is going to be our first pick'em of the year. Monday, yes or no, will LSU be able to have these guys on their roster?
Where is the case being tried?
Let's see.
You can't have one and not the other to do the same thing.
But I think there's some that aren't technically professionals from Europe. I mean, y'all know, I don't know the whole roster. I just knew.
See, you're talking about basketball. Yeah, we're talking about football.
Oh, I don't give a fuck about football.
I like how he's just conceded that we'll be better than them in football. I don't even care.
Well, I'd hope so. Y'all got NFL players.
I'm going to say that the judge is going to strike it down.
It depends where it's at.
Let's see.
This is a travesty. It's a sham. It's a mockery.
Oh, listen to this, baby.
I like this.
It is going to be held in the 19th Judicial District Court of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh, God.
I changed my vote.
Suit him up, baby.
If the judge rules against it, they're never going to get reelected ever.
And oh, by the way, it is Judge William Jordan, who is an alum of Dun, dun, dun.
Collusion.
Dun, dun, dun.
I love it.
I absolutely love it. He looks like he'd be pro player.
Absolutely.
We're winning this case.
What if he went to LSU Lafayette?
There's no such thing.
Oh, it's coming
soon.
It's coming.
LSU Gainesville, LSU Saints. We're taking over.
I will say this: that ruling affected baseball for a bit. There was a couple of UL dudes who came back and are already ineligible. So maybe my tune might change for baseball.
Let's shift gears. We will find out Monday. We will let everybody know. Now the case is in Baton Rouge. Are the Saints terrible?
That preseason game was awful.
All right, Tommy, Or you're a Zach Wilson guy. Explain yourself. He was bad.
Bro, look who he was playing with.
I'm just going to argue for you, Tommy.
I mean, I like Zach Wilson. He's got a cannon for an arm. I think they just need to let him run around and play unstructured football.
Go out in the street and play like you're in the hood.
No? You didn't get an Any Given Sunday reference?
Yeah, no kidding. A Mormon from yeah.
Dude was too busy soaking in the backfield to score a freaking touchdown.
Is there a world where on Sunday night, neither Rattler or Wilson is on the roster and they sign a veteran who gets cut somewhere else?
No way. I think you got to keep one of those.
Kellen Moore said it was a possibility.
There's no way both of them get cut. You got to pick one. I still think there's somebody willing to take a chance on Spencer Rattler. Call me crazy, but
who?
I don't know.
He's not terrible.
He is.
I don't think either one of them are terrible. I think the Saints as a whole are terrible. They're already falling apart. Every day I open up Twitter. Yeah. Somebody's heard this and that. Like, people are already calling for Kool-Aid. Like, Saints season's over, apparently. If Tyler Shuck doesn't come out like he did at the end of last year, they're moving to San Antonio.
What was the Saints record when the year they won the Super Bowl in the preseason, their preseason record?
They were beating the shit out of people.
Oh,
really?
4.
I thought that they were really good that year.
Oh, are we calling Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah. Super Bowl champions.
Lord. We need to go home. Nick's calling Saints Super Bowl.
And I still don't know that that's right. Did they really go winless in the preseason? I thought they were great in the preseason.
I believe so.
No, they were 3-0, 3-1. They were beating the shit out of people, 45-7, 38-14.
Well, it makes for a good story, Casey.
Yes, I thought I remembered this. I remember saying in the preseason, like, my God, these guys are good as shit.
Yeah, but you can't let facts get in the way of a good story.
Well, now do you change your story?
You wouldn't Googled it. Everybody would have been like, fuck, yeah, that's right.
You had me. I was with you.
No, but I, like, honestly, no bullshit. I vividly remember watching that preseason and being like, God damn, they're good as shit. And then they ended up rattling off of like 14 in a row to start the season, 13 in a row, whatever it was.
I mean, you got your nerve. All you do on Twitter is talk more shit about the Saints than anything at all about the Cowboys.
What did I say negative about the Saints other than the fact that everybody's hurt?
Casey. Okay, let me tell you a little story.
Mm-hmm.
Me and ChatGPT are like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so looking for some little game ideas, I asked ChatGPT to look through all our Twitter, Facebook, like just research everything from the Revel or whatever the fuck.
Reveille?
From LSU and find the coldest takes you can find from all 4 of us.
This guy is gay for James Harden.
Give me the list. Make me a list and we have to guess who said it. And like every day ChatGPT just gives me a couple of them. And it's like, obviously, Casey, every single time talking about how the Saints suck. The Rockets are winning the championship.
Yep.
Every single time it's Casey. And it's like, it doesn't tell me who it is. And I'm like, Casey? And it says, yes, good guess.
I like the way Nick plays little games with himself every day. No. On the bidet.
Nick is spinning wheels in the shop, playing little games.
All right, debuting a new segment this week. It's the weekly Aw Bruh. And I'm going to lead this off. Have you guys seen Kyle Singler?
Oh, yeah, he's bad off.
There's people, again, we have a privacy issue and we have
a
technology issue. I can't even do anything. All my accounts are hijacked and frozen. I have people watching my residence and people in Oklahoma are awake. A lot of people have, a lot of reflection.
Well, as someone who hates Duke, boy, you love to see it.
That's why I switched it. My All Bro of the Week was going to go to Good and Callaway, but I switched it to Kyle Singler because All Bro went to Duke. That is my All Bro of the Week. If you have not seen the shitstorm that Kyle Singler is currently in, blaming Coach K for not answering him, blaming Coach K for not having electricity, and for all this other stuff that he's going through, because Jesus Christ.
He looks bad.
Oh,
the brotherhood is strong,
That used to be Mr. Duke. That was the world-class Duke guy, and now we're here. So
can't even go check on your boy when he's trying to be a meth head in freaking Oklahoma.
So I'm saying, Coach K, let's get it together, man. I thought you was all about masterclass and leadership. Just hang out one of you guys to dry.
I was having a back surgery. My All Bro of the Week is, all right, so I think everybody here would agree that the WNBA should, only have women, right? I think that that's pretty reasonable, pretty responsible.
I disagree.
But here's the thing. Can we both also agree that what his name, Freedom, can we also agree that he's
Miss Cantor?
Can we also agree that he's kind of a tool?
You're a chauvinistic pig, Casey.
He's a tool, man. What is he doing?
I wish he would talk shit to Angel Reese. That'd be good.
Yeah. Well, I noticed we don't make fun of Angel Reese's stats on this program nearly as much as we used to.
We can.
I mean, she's broken records in the last couple of weeks.
We know you're her only fan. We see it every day. Trust me, we see it.
If she had one of those, Casey would be on that too.
Boy, she's a good source of income. Because when I post about that, those posts get a lot of money.
I laugh at some of you're correcting the guy's spelling.
You like that,
dude,
huh?
I actually did.
Good
I'm like,
stuff.
come on, dude. If you're gonna hate on my, you gotta at least spell this shit right.
You know what, Casey? Stats don't maybe tell the entire story of how life actually works.
Oh, no. If there was a WNBA Shackton the Fool, she would be on it every week.
Oh, there is.
We got some bricks. Let's get it.
Nice.
If you see she's in the post calling for it, you know she's going to the hook and hope. Give me all that. Call her up mop because she's always on the floor. 1 foot away. What do you say? Oh, me complain. Apparently, she set a WNBA record. If you count 8 of her rebounds, then sure.
They set NBA records too,
So
you
bad.
know.
Shut up. This is your Eastern Conference Player of the Week, by the way. Uncontested layups. No, those are prey-ups.
Oh, God.
Hey, is she right-handed or left-handed? I don't know. Quit asking. How does she get so many rebounds? Because she can push and pull players away. It's rigged propaganda.
She make
but
that one?
don't lie.
She missed that one, too.
Everyone said the career blocks against Angel Reese. Cameron Brink just got 5 of her own. How about it?
Cameron Brink's terrible. Come on.
Bring it on like butter pecan.
How's it not a walk?
Yeah, that was a walk.
Love it.
We need to be friends with those guys.
That is a Stat Stuffer TikTok. There's another person that reviews the games, and he's very positive in the reviews. And when she shoots threes, she nailed this one. It was very close.
Let me tell you what. Hey, look, and I am a big Angel Reese fan, and the game she was 10 for 10, she did make 2 threes. Her 3-point shooting form is atrocious. That's something that probably should go out of her bag in the offseason. It's very, Biddy bad.
Do y'all have an Auburn of the Week?
Can I just read this from that little game that I was working on?
You could do whatever you want, Nick.
Yeah, read a tweet.
In October 2016, one of the 4 predicted there's no way the Thunder will make the playoffs this season. The take went further, saying Oklahoma City wouldn't have enough firepower and Russell Westbrook would eventually run out of gas. Instead, the Thunder finished 47-35, earned the number 6 seed in the Western Conference playoffs.
I've always hated on what Russell Westbrook. That's probably me.
There's the little credit right here, Homa Times.
Y'all don't
I don't write for the Homa Times.
No, but y'all don't tweet sports analysis stuff. So all of them are going to be me.
Everything is from Casey.
Yeah, every one of them is going to be me.
Matt Flynn will earn his money soon enough. Russell Wilson isn't durable.
That one proved to be true.
I'm going to go with 49ers owner, Jed York.
Hey, that's
Did you see your boy?
That's a good one.
Okay, so let me just paint you down a little hill. Originally from Ohio, apparently recently divorced, goes on some kind of black channel, black web, and tries to rig up a $150 escort contraction.
I heard this today.
Goes to said trailer park and is the victim of a FBI prostitution ring. So a person who owns one of the most prestigious NFL franchises lost his respect in his life over $150 allegedly.
And he is worth $500 million according to Google.
Did you see that the trailer park where they met up made a statement?
I did not, but I'm very upset that I have.
They pretty much denounced that they have prostitutes in their trailer park and that it wasn't part of this thing.
Most trailer parks are reputable.
I don't have that amount of money, nor do I condone prostitution, but I would like to think if I was that rich, I would have somebody guiding me in greener pastures.
I mean, you got that much money, you got to be able to
vet.
Own, right?
Yeah. Well, you'll get it on your own, but you got to have somebody, if you're not getting it on, somebody got to be vetting through this.
Or you got to have the bag man. You got to send him. I got to send like Damien, hey, go to the thing. Like,
get him.
Yeah, let me get. You know the words.
Lovely.
Bruh.
In John Deere Green on a hot summer night, he wrote Billy Bob loves Charlene and let us 3 foot high. And the whole town said that he should have used red, but it looked good to Charlene. In John Deere Green.
The Group Chat Podcast.
What's next?
Let's shout out Biddy. What we got?
Biddy Basketball, 3 day. Well, now you'll hear this. It'll be 2 days left to register. 421 kids signed up as of earlier today.
That's the good.
Looking forward to a really cool, really good season. If you go to dtbhoops.com, all the information shows you where to sign up. Also, if you already signed up and you're concerned that you maybe didn't, there is a searchable database, which I created last night, which I thought was pretty cool. Literally a database. Like
I was going to give you props on that. Did I sign up? Click.
That is really cool. That's useful.
So this year, Mert and I kind of been doing a lot of the legwork, and we're trying to eliminate questions. So we came up with a list of what do we need to do to eliminate a lot of these questions, and that exercise stemmed from that. So
cool.
Very self-functioning process, right?
Estimated start time for the season, mid-September, late September.
We'll start with the older ones early. Get them in, get them out, ready for tryouts for middle school and whatnot, and then probably kind of laid it out a couple weeks ago. I don't remember where, but Jamboree the following week. So you'll probably have 2 or 3 weeks of practice before we do a scrimmage. Probably take that next week off because I believe it's the Cutoff Houston affair. And then the following week, crank up and rock and roll. But dtbhoops.com. Also, talked to Coach Kathy Luke earlier. The South Lafourche High School girls basketball team is doing, a fundraiser on Saturday at Napa in Galliano. They're doing a car wash from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if you want to support that program, get your car washed at the same time, head out to Galliano, hit up Napa during that time, and you can get hooked up and throw some money to a very good cause.
Hey, look, man, I could leak a little secret here. No one knows about this except for just a handful of people. Been working with some of the folks with the South Lafourche nonprofit organization, the new Athletic Booster Club.
The Big Blue Foundation.
The Big Blue Foundation. There you go. And I'm very happy to announce that we are in the preliminary stages of bringing what I think is going to be an awesome annual event to the Bayou, because we're launching the South Lafourche High School Athletic Hall of Fame. In fact, I might be getting with some of you jokers to be on the committee to induct and everything and nominate. But we are going to be looking to host a banquet annually where we'll induct 5-6 people, I don't know, every year, whatever it may be. We've got tons of them that we'll be able to go through. We're going to be including South Lafourche High School boys and girls athletes, Golden Meadow Junior High boys and girls athletes, LCO Junior High boys and girls athletes. Super excited, just getting the light bulb going off in the head. We're going to be able to sell a shitload of tickets to that event and raise a bunch of money. And our goal, A, is we want to honor the great history of South Lafourche LCO Golden Meadow athletics, but also B, a lot of these folks are getting a little older. We want to get these stories out there while they're still with us. We want to induct as many of these people while they're still with us as we can. We're going to do induction videos where we're going to interview the folks and get that on YouTube and create a social media presence. Super excited about all that. We're ready to rock and roll. We're going to be forming the committee in the very, very near future. But it is sophisticated and far along enough in the planning to where I can say that is coming. We are making it happen.
That's awesome. Looking forward to that.
Yep. Should be a lot of fun. You guys ready for the mailbag?
No. We haven't done this in a while.
Me and you had talked about this, getting a trophy that can South Lafourche Central rivalry.
South
Lafourche Central rivalry. Winner takes the trophy, keeps it at their school for a year. Gets a little thing on the.
We literally just had the football coach on.
I know, something that we want to do, and also for LCO Golden Medal.
I know South Lafourche and Central would be easy peasy. We can make that happen. LCO Golden Medal, I don't know. I say a little more difficult. That's just because I don't speak to those coaches as often. They might hear it and love it, the idea, and might want to do it right away.
I think the only kicker to that might be winning is not the highest priority in middle school sports.
Yeah.
That may be a kicker, but
we'll see. But I could tell you on the high school side, I do think they would eat it up. Would love to have that.
I will be attending my first Go to Meadow football game in 20+ years this weekend.
Sorry to hear that.
It's going to be a good 15-minute outing for you.
Oh, why you say 15-minute out? What?
The freaking Jamboree.
Oh, yeah. No, you ain't lying. Yeah.
Not if they have like 5 lightning delays like we did last year.
Times have changed. You should at least play a half.
Oh, they play a half, but the clock literally never stops, no matter what.
2 8-minute halves.
Well, good. Hopefully Gav don't get hurt in those 6 seconds he plays.
Old Kyle Williams referees like 5 games that day.
Let's get to the Not Mott's mailbag, shall we? I've been wondering since I saw this on there. I have no idea where this is coming from. I am a fan of the restaurant, as is Nick. Over the past 2 weeks, have you guys seen an improved clientele at Texas Roadhouse from Armand Hammer of La Rose?
We appreciate the question, Armand.
I have no idea what this is.
Yeah, no, neither me.
So there's this huge debacle on social media about a certain demographic of people getting their food spit in.
Ugh. Locally?
No. I don't know. I don't know that. Maybe not. I doubt it. Remember when we were on the age of boycotts?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was boycotting everything for everything. This has been a boycott type of situation.
Oh, you mean like during COVID whenever we weren't spreading the virus by burning cities down? Like that?
Yeah, there was a Bud Light situation. There may have been a Rouse's situation. Things like that.
Okay, I got you.
NFL situation. Now we're back.
PlayStation situation right now.
If you get into that, the algorithm, the comment section, if you want to see how divided and entertaining the world could be, check into that. That's my answer for that.
I'll tell you what, I like Texas Roadhouse, so I hope that it's not something that I have to cancel.
And if they're spitting on my steak and calling it garlic butter?
No, that's the Ryan Reynolds.
Oh.
Never seen Waiting?
Yes, I did.
It's a good flick.
By the way, I would just like to say to everyone in the Bayou region, to hell with all of y'all for not supporting Arby's. I was one of the few that actually likes Arby's. It's closed now.
Done.
We're done. We're cooked. So to hell with all of y'all.
Arby's is fucking terrible.
You're terrible. How about that?
Did you get one last Arby's meal in?
No, dude.
They didn't get much heads up.
No, it was just like, hey, bro, fuck it, we're closed.
The sign's down.
So you'd rather go eat a beef and cheddar from Arby's than a roast beef po' boy from down the bayou?
No, but here's the thing. I can't get a roast beef po' boy when I'm in Houma. So if I'm in Houma, I would go get a brisket sandwich at Arby's and those curly fries. Like,
just go to Big Mike's and get a...
You cannot get a better fry down here than you can at Arby's.
100%. 100%.
I agree with that.
All right. Next one. I like this one. If fantasy football existed in high school, what local player would go number 1 overall this year? And what South Lafourche player would you take first in your fantasy draft? As the guy who studies the teams the most, Samayan Adams is probably my number 1 overall pick. He's the running back at Thibodeau. He's got offers from some schools. He's going to be very, very good. If we're extending to Lutcher, they got a receiver that runs like a 4.3 who's getting offers from everywhere. He would be pretty high on the list. Now, you guys could chime in maybe on the South Lafourche player.
Maybe Tyrese or Lakin.
I'm taking Tyrese. I feel like he could get you a lot of solid points and then a lot of points at other positions.
You get punting points, you get defensive points, you get offensive points.
See,
or Lakin.
Ask me this question in 2 weeks. I'll have a better answer.
I'm gonna go Lakin because there's some secrets that I know that others.
I'm gonna take London Pageant as my first round pick. John Curtis's starting quarterback, 2-way stud, junior. He looks pretty good.
Everybody's telling me that.
Nussmeier. Rummel. Is that what you about to say?
That's kind of what I was about to say. Everybody's kind of telling me that Curtis is a little bit of an underdog by their standards because Carr, St. Aug, Rummel, like they got a crap load of Division I teams that are great this year.
Correct. I think they were probably predicted second or third, and then Nussmeier going to Rummel shifted them because he's apparently unbelievable.
We got a 5th year?
No, he just straight up transferred from Dallas in the middle, first week of school, and is eligible. So I think they'll be top 4, but yeah, I think they were next year. I think they are going to be pretty Curtis standard. But
I know Tommy isn't complaining about other schools getting talent in that don't belong there.
When people relocate themselves, it's a different story.
So the next one, Tommy, I feel like you're going to be the dude who's going to have like some sort of gimmick here for this one. So Tommy, I'll ask you this first. Like I said, I feel like you're going to be the one who's going to have like the most clever answer to this. Big Steve from Cutoff wants to know, I'll give you $5. You get a chance to eat and you got to spread out that $5. How you breaking it up? $5, not much.
I get to eat for $5?
Yeah. What you breaking it up? You could get one thing for $5. You could get 5 things for, $1. How you breaking it up?
I'm going to try to get 5 things for $1. I know that I don't know how far that'll get me, but I think it's Wendy's trying to bring back like $1 menu. So I'm going to probably try to get as many little cheeseburgers as I can. I'm going to forego the drink.
Little cheeseburger?
Yeah, a little cheeseburger. And I think that's what I'm going to do. Or I will buy 5 of the, I guess you call them the knockoff Lunchables. So obviously not the one with the Capri Suns and the cookie.
No, that's a good choice.
I forgot. Maybe they're called Armor. I could probably get 4 Lunchables for $5. I think I'm gonna do that.
2 cheesy double beef burritos for me at Taco Bell. They're both a little north of $2. Can't go wrong with that.
Give me a little hot dog rolling in the racetrack.
Come on,
hot dog roller.
As long as you don't get a taquito in the Leeville hot box, you all right.
And a snowball from what's the place Terrence works at?
They're a sponsor.
Snowden.
Yeah.
Give me a snowball from there and a little hot dog rolling up in a hot dog roller.
You like those gas station hot dogs that much?
Gas station food is my Michelin star.
Look, I will tell you this. I spent a week in Hammond doing the women's top 28 last year, and across from my hotel was a racetrack. And I ate racetrack pizza every meal that I had the entire time that I was there.
I could eat there for a week, easy.
Every time that I was there.
My answer to that, Wendy's has a $5 biggie bag. You get a hamburger, nuggets, fries, drink.
And then they leave half of it out when you drive off.
I've actually never eaten there, so I have no idea.
The
local one, I'm sorry.
Doesn't Popeyes have a $5 box that you get a bunch of
They do
stuff?
now, the $5 tackle box, I think it's called.
Yeah, 2 biscuits.
Yeah, we need
no drink.
Okay, so Stuck in Traffic wants to know, does LSU being the heels of the sport make you like them less? Absolutely not. It makes me like them so much more because when we win championships this year or whatever, if we don't win championships, whatever, it's us against the world. And I think that that's awesome, dude. Okay, last year when LSU beat Clemson, we all rushed here and we did a celebratory podcast. If LSU beats Clemson this year, we may do the same thing. But it will be literally the people in this room celebrating, the rest of the state celebrating, and all 49 other states being angry and pissed off that we beat Clemson. Absolutely not. I love the fact that we are the heels of the world.
I can't say it any better. That is 1,000% accurate. It's like being Ric Flair as the heavyweight champion. See, we got Bayou Brawlin in the chat. We got some news to drop soon. A little collaboration effort with Bayou Brawlin. Anxious to lay that out. Just remember when Ric Flair was a world champion, came out, everybody hated him. And
Nicholas, you like him more or less?
I'm kind of torn because I kind of feel like when we win the championship this year, everybody's going to say, oh, yeah, y'all cheated.
I don't care.
And
I still get it.
I feel like anytime Alabama would do something like that, I would be like, yeah, fuck Alabama. They cheated, or Cam Newton's getting paid, or whatever's going on. And now they have that on us, which they probably always did. I just never listened to it before.
Part of being a fan is being a hypocrite. You could say, it doesn't matter. I don't care.
Part of winning is being hated.
No, I'm looking forward to this season. We're going to beat Clemson's ass in the opener.
Whenever you get a break from your PE school uniform, snafu, and orders, all that, print me a shirt that says me and 49 other states, because I will be the one who's not going to like it, with a big asterisk on the back.
You better delete social media for football season.
I'm about to delete y'all. The next commercial I hear.
I like this next one. Relentless Emails wants to know, would you rather be forever physically 25 years old, so where you could be active, you could do whatever, or would you rather be forever financially 65 years old, but you're old as shit, but you got money forever, but you're old as shit?
What does financially 65 mean?
Like retired?
Yeah, when you're retired, you're well off. You don't have to worry about money anymore. You don't necessarily have to worry about a job. You're not grinding as hard. Or do you want to be 25 where maybe you're not eating a ribeye every day, but you are not hurting your groin getting out of the car?
how old are you really when you're financially 65? I don't understand the question.
But for the question basis, let's say that you don't have to worry about money and you're 65.
Yeah. So would you rather be 65 and financially stable or 25 forever, but you still got to hustle every day?
I'll be 65 forever.
I'm thinking 65 too.
I feel like my kids are grown, may or may not have grandkids by that time. You feel like you just living great. You don't have to work.
When I was 25, I think I was driving to Booty every day to work, making less than I was spending in gas, having to pay rent. Wasn't a great time.
But we were going to boxing shows every weekend for free. That wasn't too bad.
That was a pretty big deal on YouTube at the time, too. No big deal.
I feel like I'm 65 physically right now, and I feel okay, and I like where I am. So, yeah, give me 65. Tommy?
Considering at 25, I was bartending and getting myself into the massive debt I'm still trying to crawl out of now, and 65 is basically a new 50, I'll take 65.
Okay.
I don't like 25-year-old Damien.
I didn't either, so.
You'd love me.
The umpire inspecting Lisa Park Gym wants to know, how much money would you need to never be involved in any sports ever again? That includes watching, reading about them, coaching them, studying them. Sports are erased from your life completely. How much money would you need to just never have anything sports in your life at all, ever again?
100 million.
That's not enough.
$2 billion, because I'd have to buy an island.
Or if I had $1 million, I'd be trying to buy a professional team.
Right. It's an interesting thing, because the things that I cover with money would be like, hey, courtside seats to James Harden's team's games. I can't do that. What the fuck am I going to do with my money? You can't play Madden and NCAA. That's sport. I'm going to play Minecraft every day.
You couldn't go to a bar and like soccer's on?
Nope. Erased from your life. You got to watch the Young and the Restless at the bar.
But I'd probably buy an island.
Can you watch sports movies?
It's erased from your life. No sports at all.
$20 billion.
I think it would take more than
$20 billion, he says.
I mean, yeah, because I got to buy my own island with no,
Hey, chill out on the island.
Yeah. Not in this political climate, Tommy.
Relax, Epstein.
Epstein, wow, that's a stretch. I don't know what I would do.
That's what I'm saying. What would you do in October and November?
I'd be playing on social media. I can't play the boxing game. That's a sport.
All you have is work, but you won't need work because you can have all that money.
No.
Just travel. Just go places.
Recreational fishing doesn't count if you go fishing, right?
That's fishing.
Sport.
But the thing of it is, I hear you saying travel, but the shit I want to travel and go see or involve sporting teams.
I'm the same way.
The things I want to travel is see any beach that I could get to.
I get that.
I would want to be on a beach, live there, go catch my fish, cook it, eat it, and not be around the TV, but also have a butler bringing me cocktails.
You would never be able to play golf again. That's a sport.
Golf.
That's why I wanted the fishing concept. I'm fishing for my food.
So, all right. So let's
to go hunting.
Let's change this.
That's not a sport.
You better
if you mount it
immediately what you catch. That you hunting for survival.
like Bear Gillis.
Let's change the question slightly. You can't watch a sport, but you could scroll and only read stats and stuff. You can't watch YouTube or anything. You could just see, hey, LSU beat Clemson 31-14. You could read the story like, hey, LSU got a 5-star recruit, but you can't see any highlight.
That wouldn't matter to me. I think the video game aspect is a huge deal as well.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto's coming out. I don't even need sports.
Man,
if I could ask my butler, like, hey, who won the World Cup? Oh, Argentina. All right, cool. Here's 20. Thank you. Just keep bringing espresso martinis. Very, very.
I think I would be all right.
I don't know.
I need a lot. I need more than 10 million. I need a lot. But so much of the stuff that I like doing involves sports.
If I could fish and I could get the updates, like, sir, North Carolina won this year. Oh, thank you, Henry. Here's a 10 million. Appreciate it.
First time the butler says, oh, Mr. Bado, they made a buzzer beater.
You should have seen it.
It was most exhilarating.
And you can't see it?
I'm cool because I can still text y'all or, text the Duke people and be like, hey, who won?
Now I have $100 million and I can still talk shit.
Yeah. Well, we thank the umpire inspecting Lisa Park Gym for that question.
That was a good question.
It was a good question. Brennan, who's pondering closing every bridge in Lafourche Parish, wants to know if the Bayou literally had 0 bridges, how long in your life would you have to go before you would be seriously inconvenienced? Your answer is immediately, I'm sure.
So, but there's a caveat to that. Bridges like the bridges that went out today, that's different.
We're talking the main bridges, pontoon, Cote Blanche, not the little bitty things that are basically culverts, basically.
Probably daily. First day, kid goes to South Lafourche.
I could go much longer than that.
You go to South Lafourche more than any of us.
I haven't been there in the last 3 months. Well, other than the inter squad. About during the school year, it's a big issue.
I could go forever. I don't need to go in 308.
You don't have to go to Ever Golden Meadow, no.
My kid could go to another school.
Kid could go to another school.
I'd have to get my mom to move on this side for babysitting purposes.
Well, you already have no sports. You have all the money. You can do whatever you want.
I mean, I could do radio via remote, I guess, if need be. If I had to, now I would hate doing this. I could just do Bayou sports with like Central and Thibodeau and stuff and like that and get people that live on the other side of the Bayou to take pictures and stuff of the South Lafourche games for me. I would make it longer than most.
I think I can make it for the rest of my life.
Rest of your life? That's tough there. You'd never be able to go to New Orleans, ever.
Can I go to Lafayette?
Yeah, you could go to Lafayette.
I couldn't go down to Bayou. I'd have to cross a little.
Yeah.
You couldn't go to your favorite place, the Civic Center.
You can move the Civic Center.
I look.
I like the Civic.
Realistically, I could go a couple weeks before it be a problem. Said Marcusson lives on LA1, working Fouchon. Kid lives in Thibodeau. I'm good.
Same boat.
Well, you need a boat with no bridge, so good.
No, just wouldn't go to the other side of the Bayou.
I mean, someone would open up some sort of a trolley system. I think that was our last question.
Yes, that's exactly what Down the Bayou needs. A trolley system.
A trolley system. Yeah, absolutely.
We need like a, what do they have in Las Vegas that runs in the back? Like a tram? A transvestite?
Tommy, if someone runs the stop sign tomorrow, but there is no light, what do we got to do? They better call who?
Better call Bado. If you get in a wreck on Bado Boulevard, front or back.
What's it actually called?
Bado Boulevard.
They had a sign the first time I went walk.
The Route of Rory.
But it's not, that sign's not there anymore. I don't know if they had
Rory.
How do we go about buying a new sign and just putting it up right in front of the old one?
I'm about to look into billboard building protocol because I'm about to erect one. And yes, I said erect in my brother's backyard.
Dude, how foolish is that? Like, I know Mitch wasn't able to like get animated like we can, but you asked for a light. Yeah, no, we ain't giving you one. You offer to pay for the fucking light. Nah, we don't. Like they were willing to do everything, and DOTD was like, nah, bro, we'd just rather see people get killed. We're good.
You sue DOTD, you're first off, you're getting nowhere. Secondly, the whole state's coming down. Jeff Landry sending his goons. This is structurally correct, and it's going to be a nightmare.
Really quick, before we close out, we do have a couple of college football games. Let's go ahead and pick a few of them. No wizard or nothing. Just no, we don't even have to keep tally, just for the boys. We have some week 0 stuff. Nichols and Mississippi Valley tomorrow. Nichols, we like the Colonels tomorrow. Yeah.
Against Jerry Rice.
Yeah. Everybody in that conference usually beats up on Mississippi Valley. All right, so the big one Saturday. Belichick against TCU on Saturday. TCU's a 9.5-point favorite. Belichick says we're way better than we were last year.
I drank the Belichick Kool-Aid last year and looked like a fool on the opening.
I'm not doing that again. I'm going TCU. Who's the coach at TCU now?
Is it
still Gary Patterson?
No,
it's Sonny Dykes.
Sonny Dykes.
Yeah, from SMU.
TCU has a running back that's going to be good.
So, excuse me, Tommy, you said you going North Carolina?
Mm-hmm. Sonny Dykes.
I'm going to go TCU. I wouldn't be surprised North Carolina has a good year, but I'll go TCU. Let's see. Hawaii and Stanford in a game that, for whatever reason, I'm going to watch from cover to cover.
What time is it? 2 a.m.?
6 p.m. Stanford is a 4-point favorite against the Rainbows.
Is Timmy Chang still a coach at Hawaii?
Think so.
Give me the Rainbow Warriors.
I'm taking Stanford.
Me too. Stanford Steve.
Stanford has been recruiting Louisiana a lot, so I'll go Stanford for that reason. How about this? Let's do Nichols with the spread tomorrow. Nichols is a 30-point favorite tomorrow.
Jesus. Yeah, well, we're going to stick with Nichols.
Nichols is not beating them by 30.
They beat them 66-7 last time these two teams met.
Okay, then all right, give me Nichols.
Yeah, they could cover. They could cover that.
Phew, that's a lot of points for a team that barely scored 30 points all season last year. I'll go Nichols in the points.
Shout out Sawyer Wells.
We give one more just for the shits and giggles. NC State and Virginia. That's a conference game in the ACC.
Virginia. Why are you playing a conference game in week 0? Is that what your conference has come to?
Yeah, no kidding.
There's 40 teams in the ACC.
I like Virginia. They recruit Louisiana.
They do.
I like Virginia.
Tommy, you hate NC State. Are you picking them?
Absolutely. No.
I'll go Virginia also.
I'm going Virginia too.
So let's be honest, okay? How we get the week 0. Are we going to be watching a whole lot of college football Saturday? Because I never get into week 0. I don't know why. I never really had, like, there was that one year Florida State played in like Ireland or whatever and got upset and everybody was going crazy. And I couldn't even get into it. So are we going to watch some college football Saturday or are we going to wait till the following week when LSU and all them roll out?
The TCU game is in Ireland, by the way.
It is, yeah.
He's so football starved at this point, you have to watch.
Yeah, how do you think Belichick feels? He's like 90, and he's going to Ireland to coach a shitty team against TCU.
Well, I wasn't really looking forward to going to Ireland to play this football game.
But he's got a looker on his arm. That's all.
We're on to Tennessee.
Is Seamus going over in Ireland?
Oh, yeah.
We have our fantasy draft. I'm going to be watching Memphis UNLV at 9 o'clock.
Jamboree is coming up, though.
Somebody asked earlier what time it started.
6 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And if you are a Tarpon fan, you got to be aware you will be on the visiting side. And if you're a Tarpon fan, you got to be aware if you want to catch the track and field ring presentation, that's happening between games. So the boys will be getting their championship rings for winning the state championship.
I got to tell you, talking about track and field, I had a conversation with Coach Scott Sanamo 2 weekends ago.
It's a gorgeous ring.
Show me the ring. There are so many different things and so much thought put into that ring. That is super impressive.
What is actually going on with the home side of the stadium?
So they took all of the metal off of all of the bleachers and replaced all of it. So the metal that your ass will be on this year is going to be some new metal. And in theory, it's going to be, better, more secure. Right? It's going to probably be every bit as uncomfortable, but that is what they're doing. And the reason for the holdup, they still have another row or two last I saw. But the problem is when the project's finished, the contractor got to turn it back over to the school board who has to inspect, and there's all this red tape. So they're just saying, you know what, we're going to just not rush it. Everybody on the away side Friday night.
Get all the Gep's nests out of there, bro.
Yeah, that was a big thing early in the season.
Bring a seat back.
And the thing that I love the most about Jamboree Week, and every time I think of Jamboree Week, I think of someone screaming, Paul, I hope you get pink eye.
There was at one point when Mitch was talking that I wanted to yell Nick Sabian out of the park.
Paul, I hope you get an ingrown toenail. And mind you, Paul's not doing anything wrong. He's just minding his business and being heckled relentlessly the entire Jamboree.
Did he flip us off?
Yes.
Thought so.
Well, that was the same Jamboree that the guy attempted to kiss me to see if I would pull back. Because if I did, it was his proof that I wasn't gay.
Well, now you really have to worry about that.
Oh, let's get out of here, please.
Yeah.
Hope everybody had a wonderful night. We had a lot of fun. We really thank BJ. Look, I've already been talking to Coach Young. We're going to do some things specific to Tarpon football. He's all in. He really had a great time talking with us. Coach Woods is going to be more than game to come on, and we're going to make it work for us. But we're also going to try to do some sponsorship things to make it good for the program too, maybe giving back to the Big Blue nonprofit and everything. So we're going to be involved and invested with them, and we're going to be trying to be as active as we can. So, Counselor, any final words?
Shout out my kid today. He had a pick 6 and a 2-point conversion in his flag football game. So, Tommy
Go
J,
ahead, dude.
Kicking asses, taking names,
Kicking names.
So
Chicken names.
Kicking names, taking asses.
Thanks.
Hopefully your son does not do that.
No, don't put that on a T-shirt.
Yeah. Thanks to Coach Young. Thanks to Parish President Orgeron. Thanks to you guys for putting up with our nonsense for the last 3 hours. For myself, Casey Gisclair, Tommy, Damian, and Nick, adios, y'all. Y'all have a great weekend. Take care.
And as always,
Go Tarps. And God bless America.
Hammer.
I was waiting for Tommy to chime in and do that.
The Group Chat Podcast.